Hypothetically, can someone
Yeah.
check if we are actually live? Let me just not leak anything. That'd be really nice.
Uh, give
Are
me
we
two
live?
seconds. I think I can check.
We are scheduled to be. We are live. Yes.
Oh, we're live?
Okay, we're live. We're live. Okay, everything's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm back. I'm back.
Um,
Yes, I can see your screen.
did you
Yes.
make the Discord ping?
I that's I'll leave that to you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
do it like right
Make the
now.
Discord ping. Okay. Well, anyway, welcome to VLR Are You Listening podcast, episode 5, where we're
Woo!
gonna go over
Yay!
Americas and Pacific. We had some banger matchups in the last week. We also had some very mid matchups in the last week. Some drama happened. Some players were signed. Some players were cut. Some players were banned. Um, yeah.
Some players were unbanned, or coaches rather.
Oh yeah. Some coaches were on, but they not in the tier. They're not back in the tier one sphere. So
That's
um,
true.
Yeah.
yeah. Let's get right into it. Uh, so what was the last match that we covered from Americas? I honestly
What
don't
was the last
remember.
match we covered?
Yeah, yeah. What was the last one? I
Uh,
forget. Was it Sen Crew? I think it was Sen Crew. Sen Crew and Energy
yes, it
Fury,
was
right?
Sen Crew. Yes, yes,
Sun
yes.
And
Crew
then
was a second Friday game last week.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
I remember we covered
So it's
it. And then we definitely
yes,
covered Energy Fury. So we start here. So let's
100
talk
Thieves.
about 100 Thieves EG. So Nas, what was your thoughts on this game?
My thoughts on this game. Um, so first of all, I just want to say Cryocells was incredible. You know, he hasn't been showing off that form recently, and it's great to see him back at it. You know, he was one of the top players in like 2022. You look at his chamber, it feels like he's revitalized. Overall, for these series, I felt like 100 Thieves just looked a lot more dominant. I joked about it like last podcast that this would be like the immovable object. I mean, sorry, the immovable object and the penetrable force. But 100 T actually played pretty well, much better than they did against like Sen. They played much better than they played against Sen. I think that EG still have quite a bit to work on. I'm not liking all of the plans by EG. I feel like at best they are expecting to win at least 2 to 3 1v1s, and they just don't have the players to do that. I feel like they need to rely more on their strats and less on the individuals, and I feel like they can't achieve that right now. They're sort of a very scrappy mess.
Yeah, Val, what do you think?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna focus a little bit on the other side of things for EG. If we can look at map one fracture, so we can see on the bottom of the leaderboard, there's Yay 10 and 18, and then in map 2 he goes all the way to the top 19 and 15. So here's the thing that I've been noticing with Yay, it's a little bit of a continuity. He's been having these more relatively quiet first maps, and then he does good second map. And on the other hand, we have
Uh,
Icy, who's, no offense, he's much greater than I will ever be, but he's just very mid in like both situations in both maps. I haven't been liking many of the fights that he's taking. The whole entire idea with Waylay, but like I think that it could be worked on, and maybe, just maybe, they could make it into playoffs. But that would really depend on how both Loud and 2G do over the next 2 weeks.
yeah. I mean, watching this game, I was disappointed. I'm a big Ye fan. I love Ye. And I honestly like going into this year, like EG like definitely weren't a top team, right? But at least last year they were still able to get upsets over some teams. They beat Sen, they beat Energy, um, they beat I forget who else they beat, but they did beat some teams. Um, and like like none of their players like besides maybe you could like argue like none of them are top players, Derek, Nature, Superman, but like yeah, they were like, decent players. But I feel like as the season has gone on, they've gotten worse and worse. You can definitely see it in this matchup where I think like it was like 100 Thieves. They did have a lot of good strats, but it was mostly just aim diffing. Um, like when Cryo is dropping 26 and 13, and he's dropping 28 and 13, he's going crazy on you. Like you don't have anything, can't do anything to stop it. It's just, it's not good, you know? And I feel like I've seen like a lot of criticism coming out on Potter, because they people are criticizing her because like her strats aren't that good. Like why are you picking the Waylay, like whatever, right? And I feel like that's also a factor. I would say like why are you picking the Waylay? Who knows? But at the same time, like I don't think players of these qualities specifically oh wait, or what, these four here, I don't think, uh, at least from their most recent performances, they don't deserve those spots in tier one. They haven't shown me why they deserve to be here. Um, any final thoughts?
And I
Yeah, yeah.
I want to bring something else up for Fracture specifically. I remember it very, very deeply. Um, let's look at Asuna real quick. Could you pull up his first deaths for map one actually?
3 and 6.
3 and 6. Yeah, okay. So here's the thing. They've been running a lot of aggression on either north side or south side, and then a lot of times it's just Asuna by himself just running it down. If he's lucky, he gets two. And if he's not lucky, he gets dinked out of sky. So I don't know. I feel like they could maybe either just full 4-man, 5-man, just go full all in on one side instead of letting Asuna just kind of run it down on its own. I'm not really liking that part of the strats, but aside from that, Cryo's frying, and if EU's shooting, Boostio. Here's the thing about Boostio. I'm not too sure about him. His IGLing is a little bit questionable in my books. But I do think that this team will be solid contenders in playoffs. Really depends on who they get.
Yeah. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. Anyway, let's move on to our next game here, which was uh where am I? Loud versus 2G, which was, oh my God,
The big upset.
Oh,
day,
the
yeah,
big
this
upset. Yeah.
Mr. Tui's last game on Loud, um for probably good reason. This was this their first map without, yeah, this was their first series without Zap, as you know, who rage quit the team, calling them all idiots. He was gonna
Yes.
make a better team in Brazil. And it looks like he did make the better team, but just not the team that he was on. He made it by leaving. Um, so Nats, walk me through this. What happened here?
Okay. So, oh my gosh, this was crazy. First of all, Lotus was a disaster, man. Dickerson went crazy, dropping 32 kills for this team just to lose, okay? Vinny was having a disaster class in the fragging department, and the rest of them couldn't really keep up besides playing Carter. LZ, he was trolling a bit against EG, couldn't break a trip. But this game, he was absolutely frying, man. He was there for them, but it's not really a question of firepower. You can see by Dickinson's numbers that Loud were there. It was just that Loud's game plan, it was questionable, man. I think they refused to take a rubble, if I'm remembering this game correctly, and it's like their attack plan just was awful. It was just awful. They conceded like 7 rounds on attack, and then they lost in overtime. But it's acceptable, Maybe you troll one map, you troll 2 maps, it's okay. But then they go on to the Pro, and oh my gosh, it's another close series. But 2G win the first like 7 rounds. Well, one out of
They
this
go up six
6 out of
one.
this first 7 rounds. Yeah, and it's just like you're looking at it, and you're seeing how a lot are like sort of struggling. Like Dickinson, he doesn't drop his crazy like numbers anymore in this game. He goes
I mean, he
19 and
could go
17.
19,
Just
17.
like, yeah, like it's not as much as he did in Lotus, but like he's still playing very well, man. He's like it's like it's for Loud. It's not an individual problem, is what I want to say. Except for like maybe his Vinny's performance is not up there, But like it's the cohesion with this team, and it's their ideas on this team that they're struggling with. I mean, he did go 0-5 in F first deaths, which is really shocking. But it's just like this team could be better. It's just their plans are not there. I mean, if you look at their kickoff performance, they played well. They had pretty good macro. They had pretty good cohesion on the team. You know, they were swinging off each other. This feels like a lot more individuality, a lot less macro planning, and just a lot of less ideas on how to play this map. I feel like on the other side of 2G, they played pretty well. They played much better than they did ever before in stage in tier one. But
They won a map.
this was also a bit
Their
of a
first map win and
yeah.
their first series win.
Yes, I mean they doing better than 2023 DFM already. So I mean I think 2G. I mean this is a great sign for 2G fans. You know the zero guys out there. They're all celebrating. But yeah, disappointing for Loud. I saw a thread recently about like the disappointing for like Pancada. You know the fall off with
Yeah.
Loud and the teams he's been on. And it's like I understand, you know, it's like this team is meant to be good, but they're not. They're just like they don't live up to their potential ever. And Pancard is just kind of sitting there top fragging for his team alongside Dickerson, and they don't really do anything. So I mean, Loud might go winless in this entire split. They haven't played G2 yet, right? Yeah, they might legit go winless. So
They play
They play
Sentinels and
Sen and
then
then
Evil Geniuses.
they'll
oh,
beat
they
Yeah.
play
EG.
Sen and EG. They'll
Yeah.
be okay. EG is a question mark. Will they be EG? I mean, they lost to
Really?
2G, and I
Okay.
think 2G's.
I want to
Okay, we
say,
can leave that for later.
yeah, we can talk about that later.
But
Okay, Kyle, what's your thoughts on this game specifically?
yeah,
Ooh, strategic wise, absolute disaster class. I have no words. I remember watching parts of Lotus and then a little bit of Pearl, especially towards the end there. They have the players, the caliber to shoot their way out of these rounds. But strat wise, they're really lacking right now. Because against 2G, 2G was just deathballing it everywhere. They picked up PXS like what, 2 days ago? 2 days before the game started? Granted, he didn't do great, but still, like, with their IGL out, they somehow managed to win this. It's really a big upset. Yeah, it's really shocking. And then for like Nat said, yeah, map one, DG's in hard carried them, couldn't get them out.
11 and
Map
2,
two,
first
map
kill,
two, it
first
was
kill.
Pancata, and yeah, no, really,
Crazy.
it's gonna be a major hit to their confidence, which showed a little bit in their next match versus 100 Thieves.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure with their following games being Zen, I'm not sure how well they're gonna be able to well take it in a sense, because with their confidence, it's definitely gonna be down after those 2 games.
Yeah. This map was definitely like you look at the scores and you think it might be like close, like maybe like 2G played good, like or like maybe like something like this must have been a good game. But this was just a shit show, I'm gonna be honest. Like neither team had good strats at all. I feel like you could really see this man right here, STK. He's been getting a lot of criticism these past like years since he got moved to head coach of Loud in 2024, and I feel like this validated a lot of it. This was also the match where they decided to drop Tui's, and well, not drop him, but they benched him for Luxel, and he didn't like. I would say he definitely underperformed by his standards. But let's just talk about Tui's real quick. What are your guys' thoughts on Tui's right now? Do you think because he's not coming back to Loud. Like that's pretty much confirmed. Luxo is insane. We'll talk about that when you talk about 100 Thieves. But does Tui's have future in Tier 1 this year? Or will he go back to Tier 2? Or just not play on a team again this year?
I mean, the only tier one team you could think about picking up 2Es is Furia, right? Because I mean, you 2G, they just beat Loud, right? And they just picked up a new player, so you're not expecting them to make a roster change. I mean, Furia have been winning lately, so maybe they would pick up 2Es, but like I doubt it, man. Tuyes has been struggling this year. He hasn't really been putting up the numbers he did, especially in like the last few years. He's pretty good talent. I expect that maybe next year they have a chance of picking him up, like any of these teams. But I think his tier one, at least for this year, is it's cooked. He's just gonna be sitting on the bench.
Yeah, I do think I can agree with that. Speaking of which, he has been on Loud ever since like 2022, so it has been quite a bit for him.
2022?
And yeah, 22.
Like end of 2022.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, end
I
of
was like,
2022.
wasn't he
Yeah,
on NIPO? I'm like, oh no, that was counting. No,
yeah,
like,
no,
what,
yeah, and end of 2022. Yeah.
going November
I
2022,
Yeah, I don't think that he'll be able to find a tier 1 team this year. As for next year, it really is a big question mark. I do think that there is a possibility there, albeit not that big, but I do think that there is a chance that he switches regions to EMEA maybe. I do see it happening.
Like maybe join
The
Giant
great
X. I
Brazil
saw I
himself.
saw people talking about him joining Giant X for Tomazi. I'm like, I'd be down for it. Can't be worse than him. But I think if he does have a future this year, it's definitely going to be on Furia, and it's definitely going to be for Khalil playing Smokes. This is one thing, like, yes, his fragging has gone down, and he hasn't been playing as good, but he is off roll. When he was on Smokes in 2023, he was a decent player. He wasn't never like the best, I would say, and he was definitely the weak link on Loud um, during 2023. Um, but especially in 2024, I thought he actually really stepped it up when Loud were losing a lot in like stage one. He was well, I'm about to be proven wrong here as I go to the stats. But well, let's try to find two ways. There's two ways. Yeah, I'm
Look at
proven wrong. But like, look at him. He's above Kalenzine. He's above where's the rest of Loud here? He's above Quick.
it's above QCK.
He's above
So he's
Khalil.
above Sadak. Like he's about like he's the second who is like the second best player on this team, right? I mean it's just less. Like what less is less, you can't compare us to the same. But like
Less is
he
more.
was like if we talk about Brazil, he is the second best I would say, or the third best I'd say, second or third best smokes player in Brazil. Like obviously I think Pancada is first, and then Xenon there's an argument, but we haven't seen Tui's play smoke this year. I think his harbor is one of the best harbors in the world that we've seen. And I don't know, like I definitely think he's a tier one caliber player on smokes. Um, I think if Fury are smart, they pick him up. But as we know, Furia are not smart. And I don't know what Khalil is, what blackmail Khalil has on him, but yeah, I don't think Khalil is leaving anytime soon, which is
Speaking
unfortunate.
of Furio, even if they did make a change, I don't think like it would come into effect until basically stage 2. Because if we look at their next
Yeah,
games, it's Leviathan, Cloud9,
MIBR.
and then MIBR after
Well, they
that.
could beat
So
Lev,
it
but we'll talk about this.
they
But
could
they
be
have the
Lev.
potential to beat Lev. But yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's move on. Let's talk about Sen versus EG. And this was
Ooh,
just straight bullying.
wait,
Uh,
we skipped the
Yes.
Leviathan
oh,
Cloud9.
no, I'm just gonna do this group
Oh,
first. Yeah,
Okay, cool.
yeah,
yeah.
Okay, Sen EG, yes.
yeah. This was
Absolute banger
I just
straight
want
series
to.
from
bullying.
Narrate.
Yeah,
Oh my
we saw
gosh, Narrate
Nere
was giving
in
it to them,
KC
bro.
form plus 20. It's crazy. Oh, so Foul, what do you think about this series? What happened here?
So yeah, I think concept-wise, again, like I said earlier, quiet first EA map. Second map, he's top of the leaderboard. I think second map could have been a lot closer, like 10-13, or maybe even they win the map type of closer, if Ye just got like more help, if you know what I mean. Like a
Yeah,
lot of times I see him solo swinging stuff. Like that one round where it was on A site, he got 3 kills after flashing out through a smoke, and then they proceed to lose the round because his team is just not there.
yeah,
So And then a lot of times they're dropping both of their tag timeouts in the first half, which I do think is a problem for
I think
them.
that's a sign of like confidence issues, especially like um when you can't when you have to drop. Well, I mean, this one I feel like it might have been a bit justified dropping both timeouts, but this one they called a timeout on when they were 4-7.
On round 11, yes.
Yeah. And there's only one more round. You could have saved it here, like when you needed it, right?
Yeah.
But she dropped it, Potter dropped it here. And to me, that screams because that is not something that a good coach would do. And I think Potter has proven by this point, like with her EG run, that she is not like a bottom feeder coach, right? Like maybe like you could maybe argue that her strats and stuff haven't gotten better, but like the fundamentals of being a coach hasn't changed. And I feel like this screams to me, like this timeout right here, this screams to me that there is massive problems, like maybe in chemistry, maybe in confidence. I mean, you can definitely see it. Like IC is always criticized for not being confident enough. He always crumbles in big matches. I forget what the thing was. On the TMV stream, they started calling him Melty because whenever he goes up against a good team, he just melts. So yeah, I don't know. And that's what do you
Yeah,
think
on
about
the
this match? Or sorry, Fel, yeah, go ahead.
yeah, on the other hand, I do wanna point out that as we said earlier, Neri dropped an absolute banger of a match. One minor concern that I have is his mental, as we saw through Sentinels, their little send bites. He wasn't like when he isn't performing, he tends to take it quite hard on himself. So it really is just a hit or miss with Narrate, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, kudos to him for this absolute banger of a match.
And that's
Wait, my fucking VPN is not working on my iPad, but that's so I'm just probably like black right now.
uh
But so what I want to say of this game is that first of all, Nare was absolutely just like giving it to like flipping EG, bro. He was super toxic like across the side. I mean, it's just banter, right? But like, it's nice seeing that energy when he's performing well. But that's as Fel said. I mean, it's a problem if you have a single guy who's like super energetic when they're doing well, but like also super quiet when you're not doing well. You know, you want people to be vocal. You want people to not be tilted. And I think that if Sen throw out in the gates, they come in, they're confident, they win map one. I think Narrate can be good for it. But if Sen's struggling, they don't win that map one. They, maybe throw a map or two. I feel like Narrate just won't be one of their best players. I feel like Narrate will like sort of inch himself mentally. And you can always say, oh, you can improve. Like it's not like his mental can improve, but he's had this for quite a bit of time. He's always been sort of that tilter, but like that trash talker. So I feel like for Sen, it's good signs that Narrate is playing well right now, but I don't know how consistent he can stay, especially with how his mental is. On the other side, I feel like EG, they played, as I've discussed before, they played kind of sad. They didn't have really. They just sort of had individuals show up at certain times. On Pro, I feel like it could have been closer if they won some of the some of the more fights with like there was some unfortunate clutches here and there. The Zeus pistol clutch, the Nari clutch. It's like this game could have been closer, but in the end, I think that you it's like it's like no matter what, EG didn't look that good that game, right? Even if they won these even if these clutches had gone through EG's side, or like the 4Ks didn't really happen, they traded out. EG was still losing pretty bad, I would say. At best they'd get 10 rounds on the map. So it's disappointing is what I want to say for EG's like macro, and especially like their players aren't that bad. They're not top players, but they're not bottom feeders. I feel like this team can be good, they're just not.
yeah. I also want to say, I just I said this lot like a couple minutes ago when I was talking about EG. These players, they like if you look, the stats don't tell the full story. I feel like there's a lot of things I see with these. I just want to go off on a tangent real quick. This was low key. I was getting tilted from this, but like these players are not like good enough at this level. Like I don't like this series is like what cemented it for me that these Superman, Icy, Nature, Derek, they have got to go or they have to really improve because they were I think they don't have any major flaws, I would say, right? Like if you look at like some players like usually they have like some major flaw that they have to work on. But e.g. or like these four players, right? Their flaws, they're flawed at everything. But they're not so flawed where it makes them shit. It just makes them like mid, you know? Like what's it like jack of trades, master of none type of thing, you know? Where like their positioning, their aim, their uh like their util, like none of it is god awful, but none of it is like that good either, you know? And it just makes it like so that they can't do a lot of stuff like they're trying to do. Like they go in on Haven, and a lot of the times on defense round they're trying to push out. They just don't have the aim to deal with it, or they don't have the util, or they don't have the timing, or they don't have the position. It's always something with them. Like it always looks like they're always missing something in every single round they play, and that's what's causing them to lose. But it's not something they can fix easily because it's like everything they're missing everything, but it's just not enough where it's like they're completely shit. You know, I don't know if I'm explaining it correctly, but one thing I do want to
Yeah.
No,
talk about as
yeah.
well is Ye. This man has been getting so much hate all the time. I get it, you know. Ye, back in the day, he was the esport 2022 MVP. He got second, he got champs, he got third at Copenhagen, he got first at Reykjavik. He was the best player by far in 2022, and he's fallen a lot. But I feel like when you look at Ye now, you can't people are looking at it because he was so high. They're looking at him now and they're calling him shit because of that. He's not shit. I would say he's actually like I wouldn't say he's great right now, but I would say he's decent and like sometimes he's like actually pretty good. Like on Pearl, I just want to praise him real quick because he comes out with Yoru. I think this might be his first Yoru game ever, right? Or no, he's had two
Yeah.
other Yoru games. But he comes out with Yoru, and he actually looks really good. Like there's definitely some parts where he can work on. Like there's that one round where he ults and he doesn't have his gun out when he comes out of it. But like those are things that like you see like when you're learning a new agent for the first time. And his aim was so good on this agent. He looked insane, especially in the what was it, the attack half. He was 13 and 11, three first kills, like three first deaths. Um, and defense, it went down a lot because on defense they were just not utilizing him properly at all. I remember, I forget which round it was. It might have been this round here or this round, but they buy an off. Ye buys an off. Ye opping, one of the best offers of all time. He's on Yoru. He has a TP. It's great for offing, and he gives it to Icy. It's like why? And then Icy doesn't do anything with it. He doesn't get a kill. He tries to save it and he dies. And then they leave the map. And it seems like to me where Ye is like trying to do like all of the entrying and like trying to like actually work out all of the things for his team. Like he's entering, he's going in first. He's trying to do a lot. And then Icy's just standing back and he's just baiting him you know? Like he's just too afraid to go in. Um, and also Supa, I want to diss Supa a bit as well. I saw people praising him for his performance, and I'm like, are we watching the same thing? On attack, almost every single round, Supa would be in spawn like until like the spike was planted. Even when the spike was planted, he'd be slow walk lurking the longest way around possible, and then his entire team would die, and he'd just be miles away and it would just put him in a clutch position every single time. And no offense to Supa, but he's not good enough to be clutching against Sen like almost every round. I don't know. This this gave me good signs for Ye. I feel like if they Ye Yoru might actually be kind of cracked if they decide to put him on Yoru. I think it would be nice. His Yoru actually looked pretty decent, especially on the attack. I think the defense did not work, but I think that's just because EG's defense is shit. And they were forcing him to like be very aggressive for no reason because IC didn't want to go in. Um, but yeah, no, this gives me more faith in Ye that he can expand his agent pool from just Sentinel, and like maybe he can go back to Yoru because Yoru is very meta, but it gives me no faith for these guys.
I think that well, let's talk about EG fixes. I think that they really just need an X factor, someone like Oxy, for example, who can just
I
take
think
over a map and just
I think
single-handedly
Ye
win them
can
a
be
map.
the X factor. If they put him on Yoru, like he was the X factor on attack board. He was 13 and 11. But it's just he had no one backing him up, you know?
Yeah, but like one more wouldn't
Yeah,
hurt.
yeah. I no no, that's what I meant. Like I agree with you, but I'm saying like I just I think I posted about this, but like I think B Dog would be insane. You know, he was just let go with from MAV. He looked insane in kickoff, you know. Um and like even in the recent stage, you know, he didn't look awful in NA, right? Like let's take away this, right? Like in like this is just like the entire Swiss stage in playoffs, you know, 1.5 rating, and he's playing smokes for the first time, like mint smokes, which he usually is flex. And then if we go to just playoffs, you know, right, like 1.3 rating, and he's flexible. He can play like he can play smokes, he can play flex. I was talking about that. No, I think B Dog would be a good pickup. Um, I don't know. I
In
think
place of
in place of like anyone, honestly, he could play any role. Or like by anyone, I mean either Derek or Supa. I think Nature, I wouldn't replace Nature just yet. I do think he does need replacing, but I don't think there's any clear IGL upgrades that you can get. And the thing about Nature is he's also very flexible. He can play Skin
Yeah.
Initiator, he can play Sentinel. Um,
I think
so
Nature's been playing fine also, like just in
yeah,
general.
I think there were definitely some like the IGLing and strats haven't been there, right? But his individual has been okay. Like there have been some moments. I remember a round on Pearl where Nature is just I think he's unattacked, he goes to art, and then he just keeps looking at sight, he doesn't look at art at all, and he just dies and they lose the round because of that. But yeah, I don't know. I think B Dog would be a good pickup. I don't know. There's a ton of good tier 2 players. If they manage to poach something like because EG's poor, so we can't talk about like anybody from like M80 or anyone from like I would say SR Black either, because I doubt they'd want to leave to go to EG. But yeah, there's a lot of other good people. Adder he joined Ambrosia, but you know my boy Adder he's insane. I love Adder. He could join. We could get Turtle Troop reunion. We could get Weeded in there as well. You know you know like I don't know, but yeah, this team is just doom and gloom. I doubt they turn it around for Split 2, but you never know. But I think their year is cooked, to be honest. I
Yeah,
think
I think
there's too much that needs to change in just one split, you know?
yeah.
Okay. Anyway. Anyway. Um let's talk about 100 Thieves Loud.
I
hmm,
mean, it's just first of all another cryo masterclass. He
yep.
goes on the stage, still playing well. It's like eh, Cryo has been playing great recently, and I'm all here for it, bro. He's one of my favorite players. I remember watching him on XZ frying out, and now he had a bit of the performance, especially in 2024, I think. But now he's back at it. He's frying well. I think the rest of the team, they're all doing pretty okay. There's nothing excellent I want to comment about 100T. They're playing pretty well. Nothing that's shocking me. I'm not going here and go, oh my gosh, 100T's I plan idea here. Great, it's amazing. But they're not playing bad. They're doing everything pretty okay. Nothing shocking, nothing too bad. I want to talk about Loud though. First of all, Vinny having another rough game, and it was an IGL mid-off. Okay, we're trying to who can not frag the least. I mean, I feel like Loud they just don't have that like spark in them. It's like it feels kind of dead. Luxio, by the way, brought in, played incredible for them. Oh my gosh, this guy was on glorious, and he goes on to Loud first game and fries out. carrying the squad. I forgot. I think it was like the other two. Oh yeah, he's top frags on map one, and the other two maps he also plays like super well. But it's
Top frags
like
on all three.
on all three maps, yeah, it was ridiculous, and it was like I remember watching this. I was like, oh, they're bringing a new player. I think Loud are gonna get pretty swept. It was not the new player's fault at all. Oh my gosh, he was incredible. Cowanzine playing pretty well. Diggerson maybe a little bit disappointing, but like he was still up there. Like it wasn't terrible by them, but uh, it's just they rely too much on the individuals. I feel there's not enough macro, not enough plans. In fact, there's just understanding of the game. It's pretty poor. But yeah, that's
Yeah.
my thoughts.
Okay, Fal, what do you think? What do you think about this game?
Well, first of all, it should have been allowed 2-0. Icebox should not have happened.
Yeah, 9-3.
Yeah, yeah, that Icebox was a little interesting. I do wanna point out Loud's Icebox comp. We can see Reina there. Because with a lot of these Tejo comps without Breach, especially for this one thing that you're gonna be lacking very severely in is flashes. If we look at the team, the only flashes they have are Reina flashes from DGZ. So that's gonna be a relatively big problem in when you're bringing out like A fights, for example. Like you want to flash over two, something like that. You don't want to just be dry peeking that or just straight off of a drone. So I do think that's one of the weaknesses of this comp. As for Ice, as for the side of 100 Thieves, they have Gecko actually. Now Gecko has been kind of out of the meta. We haven't seen any teams play them actually, except for 100 Thieves. It's still a 2024 comp actually. This was their comp from last year. It's just recycled. I mean, crowd really bailed them out that map. I'm not really liking how they're playing the entire thing. Um, yeah, comps wise, I think that's it from me. And then as for just in general though, I do want to point out Boostio going minus 23 there over the entire series. Those are like FNS numbers. Anyways, just a little thing that when he's shit talking,
I mean,
can't he really be talking talk when
yeah,
he's not necessarily walking the
it's
walk?
like he's digging his own grave at this point. I think it started. I think the downfall of Brucio started versus what was it, versus Furia last year, or was it this
Yeah,
game
I don't even know who we
where
were playing
he
against.
tweeted what was it? I don't even know who I'm playing. If I lose this, I'm retiring. Maybe this is cosmic karma here that he didn't retire. Been underperforming ever since. Um, but yeah, no, Luzio definitely did not have a good series, but I think this series just shows like Fryo's insane. Definitely has the potential to be a top player again. But I also think like you guys are saying, Loud, they rely on individuals. They don't have strats. I will bring it up yet again. This guy here, he needs to show me why he's good. He needs to show me like that he actually has plans. Otherwise, Loud are gonna be very shit. But I actually predicted Loud here. And so I was excited, I saw him 13-6. So I knew Luxo my goat. I remembered Ascension where he was dipping everyone. Um and I actually when I was watching this, I'm like, okay, yeah, they're gonna win this. And then they're 9-3 up on Icebox. Um I'm like, we're good, we're Gucci, another pick 'em in the bag, you know? Or was it they're on attack, right? These are the
It
stats.
was not, in
Or
fact, to pick him in the bag.
yeah, no, there was like Luxo was going insane, like maybe Vinny was a bit underperforming, but these guys are looking like
But he's
shit.
IGL.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then I should have remembered what Megan how do you even say it? French names I can't. But I should have remembered the famous saying that Icebox anything can happen, especially when you start on attack and you do on attack and then you switch sides. Because this map anytime it's played, the attack side is just so much like better than the defense, and I've yet to see a team with really good defense yet. Um, and it's just the attack was just what owned them, right? And it was basically 100 Thieves. They won 3 rounds on defense. Loud round won two. It was just who could win more defense rounds, and three was enough, I guess. But yeah, no, I think this just continues to prove why Icebox is such a shit map, where it goes like so back and forth on the sides. Um, but yeah, and then we go into split, and I feel like Loud's mental was kind of doomed after this. I mean, you just lose 9-3. Um, again, I might add 9-3. Where have we seen this before, Mr. Kalanzine? Oh, Kalanzine's actually the only one left now. Kalanzine.
Yes, the only one left from
Only
that
one
squad.
left from 2023 Loud. That's crazy. Well, I think wasn't SDK the assistant coach, or am I tripping? I think so, right?
I
But
think it is. I think it is.
I believe it was fraud.
no, he was the head coach,
Oh
but he
yes,
was the
yes.
assistant coach joining. Yeah, he was. Yeah, no. And then they go to split, and then they start out like pretty strong, but then 100 Thieves just destroy him. And I didn't pay that much attention to this match because I was pretty depressed from this. But how was Cryo Sage? Because last time he played Sage on split, uh, his util was not the greatest. So if you remember, do you remember if he used his res at all or his heal?
Um, I don't know if he used his res. But he was his like his util wise. I feel like it wasn't like great. I wasn't like, oh my gosh, Sage util. But
He did have 14 assists, so I assume he did use like his heal like a bit,
yeah,
you
yeah,
know.
yeah. Like he used his util fine. It was nothing really interesting to comment
Like it
on.
wasn't
It was
great, but like
okay.
it wasn't his last game on stage where he only healed 3 times in the entire game.
Yeah, yeah.
And two
And
of
then
them were
just
in the
like
same
not
round.
resing anybody.
Yeah. But yeah, no, this for me, this gives me a bit more. I would say a bit more hope for 100 Thieves, just because like my hope is in Cryo that he can be consistently good um against these shitter teams. And this just gives me so much. I wouldn't say like so much doom, but like this just proves to me like you have Luxo. Luxo is insane. Cowanzine, insane. Pankata, insane. Digizin, insane. How the fuck are you this bad?
Speaking of Cryo earlier, I do want to point something out. If we look at all three of the agents that he was playing, it's ISO, Jet, and Sage. All three of them are very, very simplistic agents with like minimal utility. From Sage, all you have a wall, a slow, and a heal.
Well, that was
Let's look
too
at
much
Jet. You
for
have a
him in the game we're Sen, so you know.
yeah. Well, it's Sentinels. It's barely a rivalry of every time
Yeah,
they
yeah,
get
yeah.
shit on. But yeah, we look at all these three agents. It's really just like there isn't that much util in the sense where a crowd
And
can just
Chamber
swing
too.
things and just go kill people.
Let's
So
put
I
him on
do
Chamber as
really
well.
like the idea. I do really like the idea that 100 Thieves are doing, putting him on these really simplistic agents, so I can really just focus up on his aim.
I will
So
say
yeah,
though, Cryo was insane on Astra. I will say that. Whereas he was insane on Astra. So just to give him that, he was very good on Astra. Um,
Mm.
but yeah, on
I mean, Kara's also always played that simplistic agent, man. He was on the chamber before back in 2022. But
yeah,
I mean, it's working well for him. I think maybe I feel like this roster is playing like 100 Thieves. Their roles. I feel like are very like old. You know, they don't their ideas aren't that they recycle all of the ideas. Is what I'm trying to say. And
yeah.
it's like it will work against like Loud. It will work against these like teams that don't really have a game plan. But when you go up against the better teams, especially if you're looking up to playoffs, maybe even wanting to like get into Toronto, I know Nashot definitely wants that. Uh, I don't see the potential. I mean, they play crew against crew. I don't know if they can win that match. I doubt
No, they're
it.
the yeah. I don't think they're winning against Crew, but they should be good for playoffs. I
Yeah,
think.
they're
But
gonna be good
we'll
for
go
playoffs,
through
but
it. We'll go through it. Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, and
yeah,
then
I'm just worried for that squad.
our final match that happened just today, actually, a couple hours ago.
Yes.
2G versus Visa. Did they change it? I thought it was Crew Visa.
Same
It
difference.
was through Visa. I think, but yeah, it's now Visa Crew.
Yeah, Visa just gave him too much money now. But yeah. So run me through this game.
Okay. I think Fao should go first because I was sleeping and I'm rewatching the VOD like right now.
Okay. Well, I do think. Let's look at map one. Let's look at Icebox. Icebox it got recently added back. I think that teams are pulling out such interesting comps. Let's look at Mazino's Harbor. I mean, I'm pretty sure this is the first time that we've seen Harbor this entire split.
No. He played it versus
Um,
Sen. If you remember this amazing Icebox match.
well, yeah, Icebox.
Well,
It's
I
the
think in
only place where Harbor
Americas.
is.
Yeah, but I know they play
In
it, or
America's,
Sadak plays it a lot, and yeah.
Yeah. Sad
yeah,
I put it out on the Abyss one time.
No, he's been pulling it out
yeah.
in like every map, bro. Insane. Where's
Every map.
how
Oh
do I say
yeah, he
that?
has been. Oh, he has been. Yes.
Sadak,
Yeah,
our goat. Um, 7 maps on
map one
Harbor.
and
Seven
map
times.
two. I do think for this game, LZ was doing fine. Honestly, with their like whole entire situation, I kind of expected it to be a quick 2-0. And then, but they did well second map actually. A little bit of quiet map from Shy, but overall, I do think that their ascent with the whole entire concept wise, it's very solid, especially on their defense half. If you look at their 7-0 actually for 6, 7.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a very solid half for them. Their concept wise, it's really good. As for Pearl though, let's look at Pearl. That was an absolute disaster class.
Yeah, I mean, when I was watching this, I was like, just send me the G2 NRG so we can finish this quickly. This is gonna be a quick day. Um, and then they started bringing it back. I'm like, like it was like I was rooting for 2G at this point. Like I think I was rooting for them at like round 2. So I'm like, you know what, fuck it. I don't want to see NRG G2 because I know it's gonna be destruction. At least give me some funny shit to watch because this was amazing by Crew and shit by 2G, but then this was shit by both of the teams. And it was just who could be
Yeah,
more shit. Um, and then the ending of this game too. I forget what it was, but it was hilarious as well. But like the one thing
I
I will call out
remember.
is Shy Chamber. I don't know how often he's played Chamber before. Um, 5 times, but this was a weird thing to see, especially because he only got the opt out in like I think 2 or 3 rounds. Um, so it was a bit of a weird pick from them. But then other than
I do
that,
want to.
oh yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I do want to say for 2G's attack half, their entire control was just not there. Like the point of having a Yoru on this map is mostly for the clone, right?
Yeah.
Like you can have the clone, the TP, so that Pearl is a big map, and especially with the clone, a lot of times on B site, there's gonna be a vice wall, right? So you use the clone to trigger the vice wall, and then maybe throw down an astro smoke so you don't get spammed, so you just don't get killed when you're trying to walk down. But they're not doing any of that. Like a lot of times the vice wall is just left there until the end of the round, and then if they get shut down on A and they try to rotate to B, they're into a vice wall. That's even more delay. So they're just keep on getting delayed and delayed and delayed throughout this whole entire game. So yeah, I really didn't like the entire attacking half. Well, to
Yeah.
be fair, it was a 12-0, but yeah, this is
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, this to me, what this says to me about 2G, like this entire game really, is that this is clearly a team who is just like formed. Like they're completely redoing a lot of their strats because Zappa left, and also like they kind of did like a role change because before Silence was the only one playing, like he was their main duelist. And now he's like back to more Sentinel, while Asuka, like even like this is something that I found interesting that Asuka is now the one that's on main duelist, right? Even on Jet, which was what Silence used to play, even when Spikes was in the roster, he was the one playing Jet, and then he was flexing the Sentinel. But Asuka is taking over main duelist, and Silence is back on Sentinel. They have a new IGL. They have new players in PXS, right? And this to me just screams we've only had like a week and a half of prep. The map that we did prep Ascent, it's pretty good. The maps that we don't prep because we don't have time are really shit. You know, like that's what this tells me. And hopefully, like with maybe more time, and like maybe like I don't see them because who else did, but yeah, I don't see them winning either of these two games. But I do think they will improve, which I think is the big thing. Which I think they shouldn't be looking to like. I think even at this point, like they're obviously looking to win games, but like if I'm the coach, all I'm looking for is can we improve enough that by the next split, like we're actually able to win matches, and like we have good strats enough on most of the maps, like because right now like they're completely forming basically a new team from ground up, and like yeah I don't know, but the one map they did like actually look good on was Ascent. I just want to talk about that. I want to talk about Fru's comp. That I'm pretty sure isn't this the this is the Cloud9 comp, I think, right? I don't know if it's the exact one, but I just want to check real quick. Yeah, no, it is the exact comp. And I think Angerbach Megan was like talking about this earlier, or by earlier I mean like 12 hours ago. Um, and she was talking about how this comp is only like really good on defense, and if you're not able to get as many rounds as defense, you're not going to be able to do good on attack. We can clearly see that here, which I think was a lot like they weren't able to attack at all. You can see that, but I think this is also a bit of crew like seeing how good a comp is and then trying to copy it without really understanding like what was going on behind it. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Right, any other final comments?
I yeah. I
Nothing.
this is pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well then,
Group
should
Omega.
we? Huh?
Group Omega.
We do the list
We
first, and
want to
then
do
do
the
group
pickups
omega.
for this group first.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
so there's three games, right? First one. Oh, here, let me pull up Paint. See, unfortunately, we're on a budget this week, so we got. If you want to read it out, we got 100 Thieves, and who are they facing? Don't don't wants to call it out for
2G.
me. 2G.
2G.
2G. I'm just gonna use our letter first initial. So I'm going for 100 Thieves. What do we got?
I
I am
I
also
saw me
going
into
for
100
100
thieves too.
Thieves.
We're all of us 100 Thieves.
Yep.
Yes.
I do think that
It's
this
a
will be a three
guarantee.
mapper. I do think that this will be a three mapper. And then at least one map for 100 Thieves, it's not even going to be close.
Yeah,
Those
no,
are
I
my
feel like
predictions.
I don't know if it's going to be a three mapper, but I do think at least one of the maps is going to be very close. I believe in 2G to like from what they have shown this week, they have like the ability to like prep a map really well, like what we saw in Ascent, and I think they're like I said, they're really struggling from the fact that they don't have that much time, but uh yeah, no, I think they have the capability to make one map really close. Are they going to win that map? Depends on 100 Thieves. If
Probably
100 Thieves
not.
play really well, then probably not. But maybe they shit the bed again, and we might get an upset. But I give this like a like a 75-25 100 Thieves.
I think
I mean,
that at least one map, 100 thieves of watching 2G with 13-4. I
Yeah, no,
just
I
feel like
agree.
2G are going to be completely unprepared on one map, and then I feel like another map they're going to be super well prepared. Maybe they win it, maybe they don't, but I don't see 2G winning the series realistically.
Okay. What's the next series?
G2 Leviathan.
G2
I think this is pretty obvious.
Lev.
Yep. So we're all
I
putting Lev here, right?
Yep. Okay. And I got yep here. Yeah, another guarantee. I mean, Lev, they're just so shit, man. Like, I talk
this
I
is
talk about
just
this
different
every week.
calibers.
Yeah, like even if it wasn't G2, I think I would prep Lev versus any other team, right? Like
Yeah.
it's horrible. Um,
I
Anyway,
mean, yeah, they just have too many X factors on G2, and then when they're playing as a team, and that's like
wait,
almost every single
isn't
time,
this the other
they
group?
just look very
Am I
good.
tripping?
Oh
Isn't this the
wait,
other
is this
group?
other?
Yeah, this is the other
Oh
group
Yeah,
too.
shoot,
it
my
is the
bad,
It's
other
all
group.
good. It's all
my bad.
it's all good. It's stuffed. It's stuffed. Okay.
Yes,
Well,
this
anyway,
is very
what's the one
very
from this
stuffed.
group?
I believe it's Sen
Uh,
Loud, Sen Loud.
Sen Loud. Okay. We got Sen and Loud here. And who do we have? Who do we have? Me personally,
Um,
Sentinels.
here.
I've
That's
I've I've lost all my hope for Loud. I just go put Zen, yeah.
Man Foul.
Also Sentinels. Yeah.
See, I kind of want to go Loud, but I'm not. I'm going Sen. I feel like maybe Sen could choke this, especially if Loud start off strong and maybe they like destroy Sen map one and like maybe we see a crumble of the mental again. But I don't believe in Loud in the IGLing or the coaching, you know. So I
Yeah.
think this game is I feel like this week there's a lot of like pretty easy matchups to predict. But then we got our
Yeah.
last matchup, which is
Through
Peru
EG.
Brew EG. They're pink. Brew. Then we got EG. And I believe I'm not even gonna ask you. You're picking crew no matter what.
No. I picked
No?
EG. Actually, let me double check.
Are you serious? Is this a
Yeah, I
bet?
did pick EG. I did pick EG.
You can change, you know, you're
Okay.
not locked in on a pick. I would understand if you
No,
change based on today's
I have faith. I have faith in EG. I have faith in
to
EG.
beat crew of all teams.
Yeah, I do think so.
This has gotta be bait. This has gotta be bait. But hey, you know,
I
okay.
do think that
Here you go.
this could be an upset.
This is the most shocking one here. Okay, we're gonna screenshot this and it's gonna be like the
The
like how they
thumbnail.
do yeah, there's something. Um anyway, so that's it from this group. So let's move on to the Omega group and let's talk about fuck, what was the last game that played?
G2 MIBR. Let's
G2
talk about G2
MMBR.
MIBR.
So
Ooh,
yeah. Oh, I hate how like VLR like pushes you to like the new I hate that. I don't know how to fix it, but I don't even know if there's that fix. Anyway, G2 MMBR. Nah, start us off. What was this game?
I mean, this game, it was just, I feel like it was a little scrappy, you know. You look into first of all, Verno played super well for this team. I'm not sure how the comms go on this on the squad, but he's been playing well, you know. I feel like this goes starts off with the narrative that G2 are slow starters, you know. Um, on map one, they play a close series. They were up 6-3, so I'm kind of throwing my own narrative here. But if you look at the whole map wise, I feel like G2 could have definitely taken this one. I feel like there was a little bit of underperformance by Jonah P and by Jogamo. He didn't play that well, but like I remember like, in game, it wasn't like it was a little. I felt like he wasn't not winning that much, but yeah. And I feel like it's just a little bit of a G2. You know, they come in, they weren't that well prepared on pro. You know, they're supposed to be one of the best pro matches, but I feel like for MIPR, they played super well. I'm really happy with how they played, but what I don't like is the waylay. I hate waylay as an agent. I feel like too many teams fall into this trap. I feel like this maybe MIPR caught G2, you know, off meta, you know, caught them off guard, stole the map. But I don't expect waylay to be consistently good. I feel like if teams like study enough about the other opponent's comp, I feel like waylay can get counted easily. But you know, ass pass is ass pass. So what you gonna do about it? If you go on to the Haven next, I feel like for this map, it was also super close. I mean, it was just super close for this entire series, but G2 finally take it out. They get 4 rounds into the initial half, defending half, and it's just like this was I mean, it was an incredible series. First of all, I just want to say, like these teams, they were all Trent going 1 on 10 on defense is something I did not see, but that is mad. But I think that for this, it's just like it was a super like competitive series, but like I don't want to say like this was like macro wise it was incredible. Like you weren't seeing this and you weren't seeing like, oh, they're doing this idea and then they perfectly countered with this idea. It was a lot of scrap heats, a lot of fights, a lot of just duels, but it went to the favor of G2 this time. I feel like G2 can play more disciplined against teams like this, but it worked out for them anyways. And then we go on to the final map, which is like Ascent. And this one was more of what I expected of what G2 versus MRBL, where G2 go up 13 and 8. They smashed them on the attacking half. And yeah, I feel like MRBL's comp is a little behind. And also yeah, it's just like it's the same usual comp. I like the Tejo more from the G2, despite not liking the Waylay. I feel like the Vice is super strong, the Tejo is super strong. So I feel like the comp here really favor G2, especially on that attacking half. No, we go into defense, MIBR, they win their 4 rounds, but like on attack, on attack, sorry, they win their 4 rounds, but on defense, they're gonna struggle against these Tejos, against these Visors, you know. So I feel like overall, they both played pretty well as a team, but G2 they closed it out in a sense. I feel like it could have gone in MIBR's favor if they won a few more fights and more clutches, but that's kind of what they're relying on. You know, they have some really cool ideas, like on Pro, but it's a lot of just individuals hoping that Verno and Aspas get like one of the first kills. And yeah,
Right.
that's just what I think.
So, Kyle, what did you think about this match?
I think map 1 and map 2 it could have gone either way. I do wanna give kudos to Cortesia in map 2. Him and going 20 and 16. He was probably one of the biggest reasons that this map was actually like close to begin with. I'm gonna be honest, same thing with Nats. I do not like the Waylay from both sides. The only reason that it's kind of semi working for either of them is because you have Jog or you have Oswalds on it, and then they're just aim differing everyone else. But conceptually, I do not like Waylay, especially in pro play. Just you have like what 3 different pieces of util. None of them are necessarily okay. So you have your dash, which is a one-time use. You have your refract, which requires 2 kills to get back, and then you have your little hinder thingy, the hinder ball, right? Which you
Yeah.
only get 1. So Waylay as an agent is really really weak. If you want to go for like let's say an A fight on Haven, you get in with your dash. Let's say there's people there, so you refract out, and then they decide to go the other side, and all of a sudden you have no more utility to play retake. So you're basically just playing CS:GO at that point. So
I just want to point out
yeah,
you brought up Waylay on Haven. Just want to bring this up real quick.
Yep. Yeah, in that EG game, I specifically remember one of the attacking rounds. Icy went in for an A fight. He went in, and then he got out, and then all of a sudden they have no utility left. Like genuinely, it's just a terrible agent. If your fights fail, then you're basically just playing CS:GO at that point.
Okay.
You can give like little to no value, but yeah, that's my shitting on Waylay. Moving on. I don't really like G2's Pearl. If you look at their track record on Pearl, a couple really notable ones is the Master Bangkok one, where they got it was pretty sad.
I feel
But
like you could
here's the thing about Pearl. Their Pearl
Yeah.
is good, but they choke on it every single time.
I mean,
Yeah, I'm not too sure about their Pearl.
I feel like before that, they were actually doing pretty good on Pearl. No, am I crazy?
I thought.
But who were they playing
I
against?
no, no. They were playing against. I mean, they lost against EDG
Yeah.
in
This
T1.
game, they wait. How do I tell if they won or lost? I'm stupid. Um,
Okay,
No, sorry. I think
so
they
they
beat EDG.
they won all these. Oh, wait.
okay they
Uh,
won all of their pro maps except for the one against MIBR and T1,
Oh, I
Yeah,
see.
yeah,
right?
Yes,
okay,
yes.
okay. But what I'm
Yeah,
saying is they moved away from this comp, the chamber comp, when it was working for them in every single game except for the T1 game. And the T1 game, it went to overtime, and this is oh no, like I forget who was saying this, but like in a grand final, like an international grand final, anything can happen, right? No matter
that's
how
true.
prepped you are, like the mental being map five, right? Like I don't hold this on against them at all, especially because it was in overtime, especially because it was the grand final, like map five. But
Yeah,
like
and it was a Leaf
before
underperformance
this,
as well.
yeah. Before that map, they were undefeated with this comp, and then they change it and they lose immediately, right? Like that's my thing. I think they felt like they needed to change for some reason. Like maybe it's because they don't believe in the chamber as much, or they felt like they were relying on Leaf too much to perform, and when he doesn't perform, they lose. But this comp it has not worked for them so far. And from
I
what
do
I've
want to
seen,
also mention
okay.
they moved Jonah onto Fade and then Leaf from Chamber onto Vice for this map.
Yeah, I mean to be
I
like that's what I'm saying. This
I'm not against Leaf on Vice.
I mean yeah, he literally plays right. He's their sentinel player, you know.
Yeah,
But yeah.
but I do not like the Jonah P Fade. I very much would prefer him on Vice.
Yeah, this reminds me of when if you remember at the beginning of 2024 when they what was it? It was 2024 kickoff where instead of having Trent play initiator, they had Jonah Flee play initiator. And they had how do I shit. Yeah, they had Trent play solo Viper the entire kickoff, and they had Jonah P play Sova like for them. And it was like, what the
Mm.
fuck are you doing? Why is Trent on why is Trent on Viper and Jonah P on Sova, you know? And like it gives me that vibes where it's like I know Trent's a good Tejo, but like Jonah P, my man, no offense to you, but you know. Well, actually no, to be fair, like this is his second game on Fate. I'll give him that. And his first game was pretty good, but like still, like I feel like this comp is not the comp you should be running it with, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah, 100%.
I do think that I do like the idea that they were changing the comp though, because probably a worry was that coming off of Bangkok for Pearl, because that was the map that they played quite a bit actually. They were probably afraid that they would get anti-strata quite a bit, so that might have been one of their primary concerns. But then again, it was working for them beforehand, so
Yeah,
really, why
although
change it?
this was like their like this was a week ago, so they could have just gone back. We don't know because they didn't play versus Energy, so we'll never know. But yeah, we won't know until they play it again. But yeah,
Yep.
I mean, as for me, I like you guys pretty much said it all. But yeah, this game could have gone either way. I think these are very good signs for MIBR, especially Verno, who he looks really good. I feel like, especially as we talk about Energy,
Energy
it
Fraud
seems to
Watch?
me that Energy has been on Fraud Watch right now. They're on like tier 3 watch right now. But
Chicken Nugget org.
yeah, no, yeah, this is really good signs for them. Yeah, I don't know. Let's move on to the next game, which was Lev C9.
Leviathan
Oh
9,
boy,
yes.
oh boy, oh boy,
Oh
oh boy.
boy.
Let me start out here because, as you know, I have not been a big fan of I don't know who makes the comps, but I've been blaming this guy right here. But
The stage is yours.
I have not been a big fan of this. And as you can see, Split, it's Cloud9's pick. Um, Cloud9, they play really well. Zeppa, that's another. At what point, this is my question, like quick question. At what point do we stop saying Zeppa life game And do we start saying Zeppa actually might be good this year?
When he
When
gets to
C9 out of the
playoffs.
group stage.
When he gets to play, okay, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah, no, but Zeppa has another life game. Oxy plays insane, right? Like it was good from C9, right? Their attack was really good. It was 8-4. And Lev kind of bring it back on the defense a bit. They close it out. It goes a bit back and forth, but they definitely close it out. They do well. On this side, Lev, come on, man. Come on. Like, you got Tex on Viper. Why the hell is Tex on Viper? Again, like, it just, this comp doesn't work. King at least he did better fragging wise, but his Yoru, it wasn't he's not a good Yoru. That's what I'm gonna say. He's a good player, and that makes him look good on Yoru, but he's not like a good Yoru like in terms of YouTube, right? And then Rossi played well, and then Timor. And then do we know? Because I don't remember if it was after this game where Rossi tweeted that he's not the IGL anymore.
It
Was
was
that this
this
game?
game.
Yeah, it was this game. So Rossi didn't tweet that. So I assume that means King was IGLing from Duelist again. But I
Okay.
mean, it allows Rossi to frag out. So got them 8
Can
rounds.
I
Yeah,
say
yeah,
something?
yeah.
Leviathan, your rules are a mess. You're trying to put Demon 1 down the 10's route, changing him onto like basically perma Omen, which
And
I
Viper.
mean, to
Don't
be
forget
fair, it's
Viper.
kind of been yep, and also Viper, yep. But like it hasn't been working. You guys have basically Energy has been trying that since like last year. It didn't really work out too well for them. Frags wise, he is doing fine, but if we look at the rest of the team, this is where it really falls apart. First of all, you have King playing on Yoru on Duelist while he's IGLing. That's just not a good sign to begin with. And then you bring in Rossi, who is supposedly gonna be your IGL, only for him not to IGL.
Also,
And
I want
then
to say on
Calm is
that front,
Calm. Yeah, go
on
for
the
it.
Rossi front, Rossi has, or like they have said, they brought Rossi in specifically to IGL. It wasn't like they brought him in because he's a really good player, and then they're like, well, we can switch to him because he was an IGL, right? They were looking for an IGL when they picked him up. So the fact that they have gone back to King, or we assume King, right, is it's a bit concerning, I'd say. But yeah, go on about Palm.
Yeah. Calm is fine. He's just stuck in initiator jail. I have nothing really much to say about that. Hexer Reno though, putting him, I would assume that his comfort picks are Sentinel,
This
but
is his
putting him
second game on
on
Viper, by the way. And this first
yeah,
one was
just
versus MIBR, I think. Yeah, it was.
yeah, it was. I don't understand. You have you have like if we look at Texas stats, his raise is not bad. And then if we look even before like the acquiring of Rossi, you had the tank who also could play Raze on Raze maps. Granted, Raze is a little bit out of the meta right now, but still, when you're pulling Yoru onto your IGL, that's just it's not it. Like at this point, I would rather have let's say Demon 1 on Yoru.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure how
I
well
mean,
that's gonna go, but it's a little bit closer to like his previous
like
playstyle.
I don't know. I think I mean there are some teams that have like been trying to like not use Yora because they don't have Yora players. And I don't think like it will work at like the top level because I think at the top level you definitely need Yoro on some maps because he's that good. But like especially here, like at the mid-table teams, right? Like Lev could definitely beat some mid-table teams if they just don't lean into Yoro and like lean into their strengths, right? But I
Yeah.
don't think they're gonna do that. Like I think they're gonna stick with these roles, and I don't believe them to change. That's what do you think?
So what I want to say with these roles, first of all, I mean, Demon One, he looks a bit more comfortable on smokes, I'd say. So overall, it looks better for him. But for the rest of the roster, I mean, it's rough, man. I mean, you bring in if you're not having Rossi IGL, you have King IGL. You're gonna have someone else play the Yoru. Or if you really want that King to play to play Yoru, then you should have Rossi IGL. I mean, I just don't know what they're thinking. They kind of have one or the other, and they just choose neither.
Yeah.
And also this Tex Viper thing, it's I don't understand he likes Sentinel, but it's not working out for them. I mean, it's just a disaster for Leviathan. I would love to say like, oh, C9, they're all really good, Yeah, but C9 played pretty well. They're not bad, but like Lev was just so bad that I can't praise C9 here because it's like you replace C9 with like, I don't know, any other team, and I feel like the same thing happens. It's just like Lev just looked horrible. Their ideas are not good. Their roster, like their roles are not good. It's just a mess. They need to fix something up, and I feel like it's such an easy fix that they're just not doing for some reason.
Yeah. Very very easy fix. Um, I don't like I have no idea what's going on behind the scenes, but this guy here, I don't know what he's doing. Like for all I know, this could be a team thing where all of them are like conspiring against the coach, and like the coach is actually a good guy in this scenario. But if you have this caliber of players, right? You have VCT America's champion, one of the best players in the world for like consistently since 2022, the best player of 2023, champs MVP, and he had a downturn in 2024, but he was still doing like he wasn't god awful. It was just how energy utilized him. You got to see how how not to use him, and then you go and do the opposite. You got Tex, who was really good on your roster last year. He won Ascension. He's been a very good player since 2022. Even like back in the chamber, right? Very good. Palm, world champ, and he did really well for you at champs last year. And you have Rossi, who's like one of the up and comers. He was in T1 last year and he was really good. And he was on Cloud9 in the offseason and he fried. And like you have all of these good players. And like that you have this caliber of player. Like any coach would kill for these players. Imagine you replace like these players with like the EG players, right? Like I would say right now, Lev are playing like around EG's level, and compare these players to EG's players, right? Like Derek, Superman, Icy, like these players, like right, like they have some name, but like they have not done shit. Like let's be honest, right? And like they're playing at the same level. It's just like the ingredients are good. I'd say like all of these players are good, but just when they put them together, I don't know if it's a coaching thing, I don't know if it's a chem thing, I don't know what it is, but it's just shit, you know? And like I wouldn't be surprised if we see another change like for Split 2. And I don't want to say it's gonna be this guy, but like it might be. It might be Demon One. I think it's either gonna be Demon One or Ido Pada. I don't know how to say his name, but I think one of these two guys is going. The end of Split 1. I could see Tom going as well. I could see hell even Tex getting benched. They bring up the ass pass mom tweets. But yeah, no, I don't know. And then just to touch on the Ascent real quick, I think it was a masterclass by C9 in the
Shit
Ascent.
show.
And
Absolute shit show.
I will say though, I talked about this a bit earlier, but Ascent defense side with double Senti, it's gonna look insane, right? So until we see this on attack, until we see C9 on attack, I won't say they have a good Ascent yet, because what might happen if we bring up, you know, this lovely team right here. What was this? I forget who was it that played
Which one?
Ascent? Who am I thinking of that played Ascent? I think of Prue. Why did I pull up Team Heritage, bro? I'm like actually losing my mind. If we pull up Prue right here, you know, they look like absolute shit on attack with the same comp. You know, like I don't know. It just we have to see him on like and against a better team, right? You have to see him up against
Yeah.
a better team and on attack until like I actually believe in this C9 at like percent. But I think it is pretty good. But like until I like actually believe in it. But yeah, no. Oh,
Yeah.
let's move
All
on
right, let's
to
move on to the next one then.
greener pasture. Or I was about to say greener pastures, but another shit show. At least this one was entertaining. I found this very entertaining. I don't know about you guys, but I was smiling. I
Yeah.
wasn't smiling, but I was finding it funny. This game happened tonight, like a couple hours ago. G2 versus NRG, and wow, it just complete destruction. 13-1 on Lotus. It was about to be 13-1 here. Um, but they won a map here. It was about to be 13-2. Energy had a bit of a comeback here. And then it ended in the most spectacular way possible with, I think it was Mata running with Spike into A Heaven. And that's how they lose, because they lose on time. And
Yeah.
it was just a horrendous shit show by Energy. I do want to praise G2. I think on the Lotus, they looked absolutely insane. They definitely looked like they were trying, but on the Ascent, I think it was definitely more of a gun diff. They didn't look as like I would say as refined or like as structured. They were definitely like realizing they were against Energy. They weren't as trying as much, and they were just taking gunfights, which they were winning a lot because Energy were complete shit. Um, I will say as well, this is very worrying signs for Energy. I just want to say
Yeah.
they picked Lotus against G2, who has not lost Lotus this year, and only won one round. I just don't understand. Like, how do you like? My quote was FNS is a genius. He knew he was always going to lose to G2, so he picked Lotus, their best map, so they could get
Might
destroyed,
as
and
well
then
just
they
get it
could
out
he
of the
could just
way.
prep for next week. You know, like he's not even
Yeah. He
prepping for
was.
this game. He's prepping for next week. That's his masterclass. But genuinely, this is a complete shit show from NRG, and it was just complete destruction. And then Ascent, I want to talk about Ascent because Ascent was even worse. Because I think Lotus was just, this is G2 champion winning form, right? Like this is them playing amazing, and like Energy playing badly, yes, but I think this is more G2 playing amazing. But this was Energy playing absolutely shit. I forget which round it was. It might have been I don't know, but there was one round where I think it was Ethan, and it was Ethan was in 2v, or he was 2v1. The one was Trent, and the spike's planted, and they're trying to defuse the spike. I forget who's on the spike, but Trent sends out the mollies, and Ethan doesn't swing. He's scared while the guy is like on the iPad putting out the mollies. He's too scared to swing. He's scared of the iPad, and then he finally does swing, and he dies and he loses on the round because of that. And I'm like, this guy is washed. He's been washed. I don't know how he won a champs, right? Like if I'm looking at him now and you tell me he's a champions winning player, I'm like in what 2016, right? Like this guy, he is not like there was even moments. I don't know if this is because they had just haven't scrimmed on the newest patch because this was played on the newest patch, but he was doing KO flashes and they just weren't flashing and they weren't working because they were the new flashes and they weren't going long enough. And I'm like, is this because they haven't screened on the new patch? Is that why? Or is this just because he forgot and he's shit? You know? And like, I don't know, like it was just bad. But I do want to bring up one thing before I give the floor to someone else. My go FNS. He got another 4K. This is his first 4K since 2023, by the way. So just
Really?
Wait.
yeah.
Wait. Really?
Yeah, I did the
FNS not washed. He is back.
here, wait, let
My
me
goat is
It's
back.
I posted this on Twitter like a way back. But so this was I think before split one, I think. This was like February 10th. So this is before split one. So the rounds don't include split one. So before split one, he had played 300 maps on VLR. Yeah, 31 4Ks, 0 in 2024 at 25, 10 in 2023, 9 in 2022, 12 in 2021. And so this is the first one since 2023. This so happy for him.
damn.
This was like watching this. It was amazing. It was like watching watching like a bird fly for the first time. You know, it was great. But anyway, what were you guys' thoughts on this?
Very rare quiet series from Psalm.
I
I
mean, I wouldn't say very rare, to be honest. To be no wait, here, this is not proving my point. I'm trying to pull up
okay, that's fair. That's fair.
but where's C9? Where's this game? Oh wait, no, this one. I'm thinking of I'm thinking of this one. Yeah, this is I'm not proving my point, but yeah, no. Yeah, you're right. So Solomon is definitely like consistently like their second. I would say their second best player. I think Mona's their best player. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So um yeah, no, it's very shocking for me. I thought it'd be like a lot closer. It was supposed to be a lot closer.
Really? You thought this would be
Um,
close. I'm surprised.
I did think that this would be close. Yes.
I am shocked by that.
I thought this
Uh,
was gonna be a wash.
Yeah,
yeah, no, it's just the teams are on different calibers. There not much to be said here. It's yeah.
yeah. That's
I mean, there's not much to say. I just feel like NRG just aren't very good. They just you come into this year, you expect them to be pretty well, right? You expect them to be like a good team. Some are even saying they might be like one of the potential winners of an international. They come into this season, they start off weak. You hope they're like sort of get back that form with Furia. They beat Furia. You're like, okay, NRG on complete shit. They're not the very bottom of Americas, but like, and they play a pretty close series to like Crew and like Cloud9. I say pretty close, but they win one map and then get destroyed. But you know, it's not like terrible, right? You go into this G2 game and it's I don't know what happened, man. Like it's just a disaster.
yeah.
I don't know what this team is like planning up to, man. I mean, they brought in Broke. He was pretty okay, but it's horrible.
Yeah.
This team is just they don't have good ideas. The individuals are struggling, and you'd be shocked because these are some known players. Som, Ethan. They're very good players. You have Marder, who was amazing kickoff, and it's like you expect them to be good, right? But they're not. And even on an individual basis, they're not. Let alone their macro. So it's like, yeah, you're really wondering what's happening. But I know Bonker is looking at this and he's happy. He's one
I know
smiling
Chet's
man.
happy.
Yeah,
Chat's happy.
just to bring up VLR rating, how the fuck are energy above Sen and
Mods.
100 Thieves?
Wait,
Mods
don't
do
don't worry,
something.
don't worry. It's beta mode. It's beta mode. Don't worry about
Yeah.
it.
Okay, I do want to point out real quick their Ascent comp. They are running the quote unquote beta comp from like last year or even 2 years ago. Uh, Here is my theory. They did not scrim on this map. They did not practice on this map. They were just like, okay, Ascent, let's pull out something that we know used to work and then create.
I just want to say though, Finesse has always been known as the guy that whenever he has VODs, that he's like the review guy, like it was always like the classic optics slow start, and then once they get the footage, they'll review and they'll come back with a plan to beat them, right? And we haven't seen this at all. And I want to just say, G2, their last game versus MIBR, Ascent, they played the exact same comp. Hey, and look at this. Look at this here. This
Oh
looks
my
familiar,
gosh.
doesn't it?
Yeah.
MIBR lost with the same comp NRG used. And does NRG go and they look back and do they see the weaknesses in this comp? Maybe they don't want to change it, but maybe they see the weaknesses and what they want to change. Maybe something like to exploit for G2. Like this is FNS big brain. This is what he's known for. Known to always win rematches. Nope. They just run the same comp and they get destroyed even worse than MIBR did. And it's just like this to me just shows that like something that like even for FNS like even whenever he wasn't fragging, which is all the time, right? He was even back in the day where something that made him the GOAT IGL. Everyone used to say, like this is like obviously falling off, right? But everyone used to talk about him. He is the GOAT IGL, right? Even if he's not fragging, he was the GOAT IGL in 2022. They said he was the GOAT IGL in 2023 still. 2024 was like, he retired and then he came back, and like we give him like this slack, but he is not like his strats have not been good this year. They have not been good at all. And it's like to me, like this screams like a bigger problem behind the scenes. If like the shooting, we knew that was gonna be bad. But the strats, that was something we could always count on with finesse, and we're not able to count on it. I think that also leads to like energy because like you're saying, right? You have all these names, right? They're all like people that can be like good, but I think is the big problem with NRG, and I've said this since like the beginning of the year, is why I never rated them highly at all, is that when you have finesse, you can't just have like medium to good players, right? You need great players around him. Um, And Psalm can be a great player, right? He's a bit inconsistent. Mata can be a great player, but he's a bit inconsistent. But Ethan and Brock, and I want to say like Brock, he's been average, right? Like he hasn't been like like really great, and he hasn't been like really shit. But he's been average, right? But you can't have an average player, a very like a pretty good most of the time, like sometimes inconsistent, and a very inconsistent player, and then Ethan, who I think is just shit. Um, like no slander to him, I'm sure he's a very nice guy, but he has not had a good year, and he has not had like a good split last year. So like I don't know, like you can't have players of this caliber when you're on a roster with finesse. You need like, and this is like something that you need, I think, this year as well, because I think the level of play has gone up so much in every single region. Like maybe not China, right? But like, and maybe some VMEA, but like the strats are not like enough, right? You need shooters. And you saw this with Vite as well in EMEA, where they were able to just dominate EMEA with almost zero strats just off their aim. And you need aim, like even in the mid level region, right? Like if you look at 100 Thieves, right? Like these guys, like Cryo is an amazing shooter, and this is EU is an amazing shooter, right? Asuna is like an inconsistent most of the time, like he evens out to decent shooter, and they're a mid table team, right? Who else? Who else? Sen, right? Sen are no longer a top two team in the region, right? Right? Like they could be, especially if they shoot. But when they're not shooting, when Nair's not shooting, uh, they still have Zekin shooting, right? Like if you just look at their cookoff, Zekin was shooting, John QT was shooting. You know, the rest of the players are inconsistent, and they're a mid-table team, right? But now that they're shooting, they're a top-level team, even with all their good players. Loud, this is the prime example. Digizine, amazing player. Kalanzine, amazing player. Luxo, amazing player. Pankpada, amazing player. Their shots are shit. Um, but like they still can't win, you know? Like you need to have good shooters and good strats, and NRG right now they don't have either. It's just they need better shooters for finesse, and they need finesse to actually cook. I don't know what this guy's doing. I don't know if he's doing anything. He might just be paid to sit in the chair, but I don't know, man. Like this is the other thing too. Like we can talk all we want about changes they need, whatever, but at the end of the year, these three players are retiring, no matter what. Well, I say no matter what, but Ethan might not retire. But like Finesse is retiring, Sam is retiring. Ethan said if he doesn't make a lane, he's retiring, and he's not making a lane. Um, unless like Finesse like awakens like prime aspect aim, but like I don't know if he's gonna be like Boostier where he says he's gonna retire and he's not, but like I mean if I was him
I do
and I
think
performed
that
like this,
I
I'd
do think
retire.
that Finesse is a man of his word.
No, no,
I
I'm not
do
saying
think
Finesse, I'm
that
saying
he
Ethan.
will hold him.
I think
Oh,
Finesse and Sam are
yeah,
retiring at the end of the year no matter what.
yeah,
Yeah. But yeah,
yeah. I do think that they'd still have a chance of making playoffs over Furia and Leviathan,
yeah, no, they're definitely
but
making playoffs.
like,
They're
yeah,
unless
they're
Lev
they're not gonna make a
awakens.
deep run in playoffs, though. They're not
Yeah,
gonna make
they're
a deep
going
run in
straight out.
playoffs.
But
Yeah.
yeah. Anyway. Oh, let's
I
go
do
on
still
Okay.
to
have a little bit of hope for this team, but they will need to change something, and very, very soon.
Right. Let's move on to the
our
pick'ems, right?
pick'ems. Yeah, so the
Yep.
first one is Furia versus Lev, which
Hmm.
let's try to draw a tiger real quick. Okay, that's my representation of a tiger, and here we got like the dragon.
This is peak.
Okay,
This is
it looks like
Picasso
a
right
lobster.
here.
It looks like a lobster, but it's all good. Um, okay, so I think this is a very, or I would say this is a very close game, but let's hear your takes. What do you guys got? What's that?
I think this is like toddlers punching each other.
Yeah,
I do think that it's gonna be a very close three mapper, and Leviathan will come out on top, basically just off of guy diffing them in terms of aim
I see.
and like Furious discoordination.
You see, for this game, I feel like the pictures you drawn are perfect representations of how these teams look because they're not
This is
good.
amazing.
Yeah, this is incredible, but I think Lev, like they will win it out because I feel like I like the individuals more. But it's not like a confident oh Lev are better. It's just Fury are worse.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I actually kind of disagree with you guys. You guys are talking about the aim. Like, I feel like if it comes down to aim, I kind of have Fury on this, right? Like, I feel like Fury, their shots aren't good, and the util isn't good, but their aim, like, their aim is like actually like it's okay. Like it's not anything like this like make amazing, but especially if Lev perform like inconsistent, if they're still on their agents that they don't perform well on, if there's like a map which they've been picking the maps where all of their agent comps are bad. So if we see Tex Viper, if we see King Yoru, if we see like Demon One Hornet, like I could definitely see like a world where Fury just out aims them and they win. And like for my thing, if I think Lev's win con is just to be better than Furia, to be less shit, right? I don't think they can do anything to like actually be like better, right? Like I don't think well they obviously could, but I don't think they're going to, right? I don't have faith in them to like actually pull out good stats or like good comps or to actually all be insane shooters for once. But yeah, I don't know. But I'm gonna go for a bit of an upset here. I'm gonna go Furia
Hmm.
just because
I
of that. Yeah. But
Yeah,
I
I
think these
do
are
want to
very
say
close.
something though.
Yeah.
I want to quote Evil Cat Mimi, the caster here.
Yeah, yeah.
Back in week 1, G2 versus Furia, when they went up 8-0 against them on Lotus, if you guys remember that.
Yep.
And
Oh, that
then
was so long.
and then they after that they just kind of fell apart. And then I remember Mimi just saying something about like them starting as like a really cohesive team. They were playing together off of each other. But then like as the series went on, they just kind of fell apart. And towards like map 2 and map 3, they were all just going for like individuals. It was just all individual plays. There was like they as a team they fell apart. So I do think on a team play level wise, Leviathan might come out on top, but I do think that it'll be a close three mapper. It
Okay.
can probably go either way.
Now we got what's the next one? Cloud9 versus who? Cloud9 versus MIBR. Um. So
I think this is pretty obvious.
yeah. Or I don't know. I could definitely see an upset here. Is what I'll say. I don't know how the logo is drawn, but that's my representation. It's Cloud9 logo. Then MIBR. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Nuts. What are your thoughts on this?
So I want to see the other two predictions, and then I'll go lost.
Okay, File. What's your thoughts?
I think MBR wins this. Three mapper, but like half of them isn't gonna be close. Just I feel like whether this game is gonna be close or not really depends on Noxy, whether he shows up or not.
I
And
agree.
Zeppa.
Yeah. I think this is very close. I think if Ascent is in the pools, like I think Cloud9's gonna win Ascent. Um, I think Cloud9's win con is just like I think this could definitely be in like upside. I think this is a much closer match than people think. I'd honestly have it like maybe 60-40, right? And maybe that's just my Cloud9 cope, and they've only been destroying bad teams. But I don't know, like this team, like even when they've been destroying bad teams, they've actually looked really good. It's not like it hasn't just looked like they're just destroying bad teams. It also looks like they themselves are good. Um, but I also think MIBR is just better, so I'm gonna agree with you, and I'm just gonna put a little H here. And, I'm with you. So let's hear the argument for Nats. What are you thinking?
Yeah. So I predict Cloud9 here because
Interesting.
I believe in this Cloud9 group stage. I think that MIBR, they're an aim heavy team. I think Cloud9, if their players show up, if Oxy show up, if Zeppa shows up, they can at least be subpar to par. And even then, I think Cloud9, I've liked a lot of their strategies. I think that they can definitely take Ascent. So in my opinion, I think that there's a pretty good chance that this is an upset for Cloud9. I'm giving it maybe like Cloud9 a 35-40% chance of winning this game. So yeah, that's why I'm playing Cloud9.
Okay.
Well, we'll see tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, we will
And
see.
the next game we have
G2
G2
Lev.
versus Lev. And
We
Fal, well, or
done
do,
this
do
one. We
we
did
do
this
we
one.
I'm not even gonna draw the logo. It's gonna take too long. G2 Lev.
No, we did this one.
Oh yeah, we
Like
did do this
we
one.
mistake.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, that's good then. That's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah,
Okay.
my bad on that.
It's all good. It's all good. But anyway, we all,
Alright.
in case you forget, we all played Jitsu. And then we have
Furious
Fury at Cloud9.
T1.
Korea Cloud
Yep.
9. Feel like this is pretty obvious. No?
Yeah.
We're all
I
playing
will agree
Cloud
with
9.
that.
So we're going for the Fury guarantee, right?
Yep. Fury guarantee. Oh, that's a very bad F. There we go.
Yeah.
And then I don't think we have to discuss much about that. And then next game is NRG MIBR. Who do we think here, guys? I wonder.
Yeah.
Can
Yeah. So
can Finesse pull it off? We have very bad Finesse. Trying to like look
I
at
very much want to say yes, but it's not happening if we're being real.
Finesse versus Mr. Aspas.
Give him a beard.
He has a mustache too. Yeah, there you go. And then we're all Fred and MIBR. Okay. So is that it for Americas? Oh wait, we have to do
That is
the
it. Power rankings?
our belief, not power rankings, but I guess what we believe the groups will end up like. Yeah. So I
Yeah.
think here, let me just split up the two groups. So it's Crew, Sen, 100 Thieves, EG, 2G, and Loud in one group, and then
Loud.
just the other group.
Cool.
So then I think right now, if we look at it, Crew's 3-0, and I don't think that's going to change. I think Crew is going to be number one. Do you guys have any argument for Crew not being number one? Their next games, they
No.
play EG and 100 Thieves.
I have crew number 1. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. And then the next team, we have one of these. Do we have any other arguments besides Sen?
No?
No.
Sen face. Who do they
It's
face? They face Loud and 2G.
yeah, I would say that they're number 2.
Yep. Okay. And then we have our third place, and I think this is. I would say it's contentious, but I just think it's 100 Thieves as
feel like-
well.
Yeah. I feel
It
like
would
will
probably be
100.
100 Thieves.
Okay, and then I think this is where we get a bit contentious of the final three. And then we can look at who they play. 2G, they have 100 Thieves and Sen next. EG have Crew and Loud, and Loud have Sen and EG. And I think just based on results, 2G are already going to be last. Just because
Yep.
they already lost to both these teams, so regardless of where they go.
Quite unfortunate, but yeah.
And
I
then
can agree
of
with
these
that.
two, whoever wins the game between them, I think goes higher. So who are we?
Wait. 2G.
Is it head to
2G
head or
eh,
are they going off of map record or
Goes head
it's
to
a
head
head-to-head
until there's a
if it's a
four-way
tie.
tie. A four-way
No,
tie,
but I
then
think-
it goes to.
I think Loud is a loud might be below 2G. No, that's at least what I think.
Oh yeah, no, Loud are below 2G, bro. I'm tripping. But they could hypothetically tie them, is what I'm saying. Like if they
come on
beat
against
Sen-
They have to
Sentinels?
be.
Yeah, no, they'd have to be. So I think yeah, Loud actually, because even if they beat EG, they'll lose to 2G in the head.
They'll lose
so
the
Loud is
head-to-head.
here. So this is the confirmed ranking, right? This is basically confirmed.
Yeah.
Unless some crazy upset
Yeah.
happens. And then in the other group,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna do this real quick. And then MIBR C9 is the one where let's see who do C9 play? They play MIBR Fury at G2 and MIBR.
I think they win against Furia and then lose against the other two.
Yeah, I think it just depends who wins between these two, who goes higher. So I had MIBR and Fally, you also had
We had a majority MIBR, so we can put MIBR up.
Yeah, okay. And then C9 here. And then of the last three, I think
it's NRG, Leviathan, Furia, but it does have a little bit of personal bias tied into
you
it.
guys I think these two are the bottom two, right? For sure. And then you guys we had
Yeah, for
majority
sure.
left, right? So I think because you guys predicted
Yeah,
love, I predicted Furia. So this is what we believe is going to be the final ranking
the
of
group.
Merrick. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think
Anyway,
I'm pretty confident in it.
yeah, I'm happy with this. We're gonna take a short break. Uh, how do
I
I how
need
do
some
I how
water.
do I do that? How do I turn off the screen?
Just pull up a timer. Just pull up a timer.
Oh, I see.
Oh wait, yeah.
Yeah, like a 5 minute
Okay.
timer. We'll be back.
Um, how do I do that? Like,
Just search up a timer.
I know, but like, you said like
Yeah.
we'll be back. 5 minutes. Okay.
Play some
Um,
elevator music in the background.
Oh wait, let me like pull up like a YouTube video of like a timer. Here we go. We're cooking. We're
You're gonna
cooking.
get an ad.
No, I have ad block. I think.
You think?
I think. Yeah.
Guys, he thinks.
Oh wait,
Oh.
there's no music. Okay, here we go.
All
Anyway,
right. Well,
yeah, I'm gonna.
I'll be back in 5 minutes. See you guys later.
Yes. Are you back? Are you guys here?
Yep, I am back.
Okay.
Hello, hello.
Okay, we're good.
All
We're good.
right. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, wait.
APAC time.
I just check if we're good.
Just start streaming on Discord.
Yeah, oh, yeah. Sorry. Accidental. Um. Okay. Now we're talking about Pacific. If one of you guys want to make like a post or something, I like do that. But we're talking about Pacific now. Um. So we're done with Americas. And this was a very interesting week for Pacific. I'll say that. I'll say there's a lot of drama. There was a lot of people coming in, people going out. Uh, there was a lot of interesting matchups. I would say there was a lot of boring matchups too. But let's get into it. So what was the last
All
thing we
right.
talked about? If I remember. That's if you remember either. 'Cause I do not remember.
Um. So okay, I believe we talked about. I know we. I think we started from like
You talked about launching RFA,
Genji.
right?
I know we talked about that. I think we talked about Genji Paper X. Maybe I think.
Did we? Oh yeah, we did. We did. Did we? I don't know. It
Yeah.
doesn't
So,
matter. We didn't talk about DRX DFM though.
yeah.
We
Let's
did.
just start with DRX DFM then.
Yeah,
All right.
let's go DRX DFM. I'll just start. DFM have completely regressed. They look like shit. Maze and like sometimes Akami are like the only two good players on this team. Um, as for DRX, they did destroy DFM, but like I don't know, it is DFM, so you can't say much. But they did play them with they did look good, I guess. Um, but it is surprising because they did make a roster change. As far as we know, Estrella is coming into the roster. I assume to IGL. Um, and there's no one confirmed yet, and they haven't said who they're gonna replace or why. But people are speculating Bane. Some people are speculating Flashback, or by some people I mean me. I'm speculating Flashback. Um, but yeah, what do you guys think about this move and DRX versus DFM?
Mm,
Uh, as far as I'm aware, because nothing official has been said yet, even if they're running like some sort of six man roster, I don't agree with it.
Yeah.
Like in like a lot of competitive games, League, Val, running six-man roster, it just puts like unneeded stress on the players to perform well, which in turn might cause some internal issues between players.
Yeah,
And
I
I
mean,
don't.
this guy knows
Pardon
firsthand,
me.
right? This guy
Yeah,
knows full
exactly.
hand. Yeah. But yeah, I think I want to say though, I think Estrella is coming in to take over IGLing. Because we saw that was one of their weak points, and especially when you have Mako who's IGLing, who's one of the greatest players like of all time, and like that takes away from his performance. I think that's like a big factor in that. And Estrella is definitely not like a bad player or like a bad IGL by any means. He can play like almost anything. So yeah, no, well, yeah, go on.
Yeah. DFM. Yeah, they look really weak. They've gone back to the maybe more something more like last year's form, which they aren't completely shit, contrary to 2023, but they aren't great either. They might be able to clinch playoffs. We'll talk about that more later. I but yeah, overall I don't really like how they're playing everything,
Yeah,
I guess.
yeah. Okay, Nats,
mm.
what do you think about this match?
I mean, for any hope you had for DFM, it's kind of gone now. I think that for DRX, they replaced they're most likely replacing a player with Estrella, which I don't really agree with. I think they played pretty well so far. Maybe they were super upset not getting into the playoffs with Bangkok or something. But I think it's a little bit of an overreaction, especially after just demolishing DFM and playing a pretty good series against PRX. I think that DFM as a whole, even you have May, who's on the top of the leaderboard, they're still not playing that well. I'm pretty sure one of their players, I think it was, I forgot who it was, but their Odin player was also not picking up the
Art.
Odin as much.
Yep.
Art, yeah,
Yeah.
not picking up the Odin as nearly as much. Which it makes sense because you're you can't really rely on the Odin, but he has the Odin as an identity, and his fragging did go down. So it's a bit of a questionable decision there. But overall, I feel like just DFM. I don't think they will make playoffs. I think this is
Yeah,
just very telling.
I agree. I will say
I do
though,
want to.
oh, sorry, you go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, I do want to point out a flashback on Yoru. That was his second time on Yoru. The first time being against Paper Rex on map 3.
Well, fourth
Or
time, but
oh, I,
for
okay,
first
I stand corrected. But first time this year
first
at
time,
least.
yeah.
Yeah, I am liking how it's looking. I like the concept of it. I like that they're running double duelists on Lotus. I do think that Yoru as he sort of leans more towards an initiator role rather than just your traditional dive duelist. So having double duelists along with that, I think it's a really good idea. So kudos to Chermy for that, assuming that he made
Um,
that roster.
well, what I'm about to say is gonna kind of go against what you just said, but I think if Estrella is coming in and like that's 100% confirmed and he's gonna come in IGL, I think I know a lot of people are saying Bane is probably the one that should be going. I disagree with that heavily. I think I think it should be Flashback, but I'm not saying that because I dislike Flashback or I think he's a bad player or like the weakest link or whatever. I think he's the only one that hypothetically you could replace. Um, because I think in no world are you ever replacing Hyunmin, you're never replacing Mako, and you're never replacing Freeing. And I think the argument for Bane is like that he can't frag whatever, but you could clearly see DRX without Bane during the off season they were not performing as well, and Bane was a large part of them performing so well on kickoff. He's like known as the vibes guy. He's known as like one of the ones that is helping out behind the scenes. He's like basically the Zelsis,
Korean
right?
Zelsis.
Korean Zelsis, right? And I don't know much about Estrella. I'm gonna be honest, like about his like personality and his character, but it's hard to be the IGL and the vibes guy at the same time, especially on a new roster where you're coming in. And I think the DRX especially are one of the teams that they crack under pressure sometimes, especially with these new players. And they definitely needed Bane a lot. And he was like one of the reasons why they were able to do so well. So I think if they take him out, they might struggle a bit. And just for flashback, nothing against him. He has been underperforming a bit like this year compared to his potential. But the reason I would take him out is just because the roles he's playing now, he's kind of clashing roles a bit with Freeing now. Who now that they've turned away from Teo, he's gone back to a Sentinel, and then Flashback has to play Duelist now, and I think he's much better on Sentinel than he is on Duelist. Um, he only has 4 matches on War. He has the one on Neon with reverse paper Fs, and this is like his very first time actually like maining Duelist. But I just I can understand from like an IGL perspective, but you don't need this. DRX, I think, was already the second best team in Pacific, right? Like I think maybe even you could say by far, but I think there's some teams close, but I don't know. Like this to me just screams like we need Termy's fucking around again with the teams. He's fucking around with the agents. This screams to me the same thing that happened when they replaced Stacks and um with what was it? They replaced Stacks with Flashback. They cut Stacks. It didn't really make sense to me then. It's going to be the same thing that happened with Foxy 9 and Zest, and I don't know. Like I like Termy. I think he's a good coach. He's able to consistently get DRX to 6 places. He's consistently able to get them to international events, but this is where they struggle, where they keep adding players and removing them for no reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not going to disagree with you, but if we look at Ashira's roles,
Yeah.
I'll wait for you to pull it up.
Yeah.
They do match better with Bane's roles.
I mean, no, I'm saying like
If you're
hypothetically in this situation, Freeing would be playing Sentinel because Freeing has been in like a weird limbo position where he only plays Sentinel or Teo, and because he was a Sentinel player before he joined DRX. Wait,
Yeah.
I'm fucking making him on. I typed in Teo there. Freeing. Right, like he was a Sentinel main.
yeah.
And like that's what I'm saying. Like he's just gonna take over that, but because Bane is like the skin more of a skin initiator than he is like a traditional flex, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know, but yeah,
Personal bias makes me want to keep Flashback, but
yeah. No, I because
we'll
flashback
we'll
can be
we'll, we'll
so good
see.
is my thing, but it's just I just think the vibes that Bane gives is like that's what gives it to me. If Bane didn't give that vibes, then Bane would be gone 100%, you know. Like that,
Yeah.
that's why, because I think vibes are so important in team. I think they're very overlooked. Anyway,
Cool.
let's go over the next match that happened, which was Boom versus GE. Um, before we talk about GE and what happened to them, let's just talk about this match first. I think this match was amazing from Boom. They like this proves to me that they're able to be consistent because one of the things that we talked about last week for this team is they can be very good, as we saw in the Ascension Finals. Um, and sometimes a split. They have the players like Berserk X, Famous, NC Slasher, DOS9, Yujiro, right? They have the potential to be amazing, but it was always the consistency with them and who shows up at what time. And I think they've solved it right now. They've all shown up in this game, in the past couple of games as well. They're able to be consistent, and this is just a master class by them. 13-1 here. Haven was 13-11, bit close. Yeah. And on the GE, the other side, it was definitely a bit of an underperformance for Patrick. Um, the rest of the players, Udaton is still really good, but uh, this doesn't give me like I still have hope for GE because I think this was a major underperformance for Patrick. I think he's still a new player. This is his second game in, but he's very young. But I don't know. This gives me a lot of hope for Boone. What do you guys think?
Okay.
Uh,
So first, I want to say is that I was arguing with the guy on VLR about Pacific Sentinel players, and this guy brought up Berserk X. Okay, and I looked at Berserk X, and I was like, this guy, he's like a mid to good player. Nothing. I don't see him being world class. And then I looked through this guy's career. Oh my gosh, he's been playing absolutely wonderfully for this team. I mean, he's been fragging off since Ascension. I've been looking at it, but I was like, it's okay. You know, he's been doing fine. I look at this G game. He destroys them, rolls them, proves me wrong instantly. I mean, this guy has been on the Boom roster forever, man.
Yeah, he's been here since they faced off it. Well, he's been here since
Yeah,
when?
since they faced off.
October 2021. That's
Jeez,
insane. Like that's
that's gonna be
dedication.
like one of the yeah, that is dedication, and it's paying off. Boom look excellent, man.
This,
I mean, they might. I think I forgot what group they're in, but Boom are probably looking from being at least top two in the group, and maybe even taking the top spot from
yeah.
like what
I
from what they're
mean,
performing
they're
right
gonna
now.
go against DRX. I think like they're gonna be in contention with DRX, but we'll see how that works out. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah, Paul.
I thought the game was going to be a lot closer, to be honest.
I also thought it was
Map
gonna be good.
one, yeah, for Lotus being GE's map pick, it was really surprising to me for it to be 13-1. I do want to point out that both Ascension teams, Notion and Boom, they're kind of Neon merchants. They've been running Neon on quite a lot of maps, so it is a different pace compared to what a lot of the other teams run. Uh, yeah, as Nat said, Berserks, he's absolutely popping off. I think this team has some really good potential. Not really much to say about it, but yeah.
Yeah. And then on the other side, let's talk about GE real quick. Definitely, like I said, Patrick Q, a bit of an underperformance. What do you guys think about them?
Mm,
I think okay, here's the thing about G. I feel like they have a little bit of role issues in the sense where if we look at Utodan, his most played agents are primarily Duelist and Sentinel,
Yeah.
or rather Chamber.
I will say though, when the coaches were, I think Elevator was the one to say this. Um, he was asked about like the Udaton duelist versus the Patrick Lee duelist, and he said in scrims they were both frying, but Patrick, or when they were trying them out, Patrick Lee was just like doing better, and that's why they put him on duelist over Udaton. So I just want to like bring that up. But as we can see, it hasn't really been replicated so far, but uh,
I think it just could be like a nerves issue for Patrick Hu. Because
yeah,
I
I
mean,
agree.
you look at his other series in GE, he hasn't played that well. He hasn't been that star duelist that people have been like talking about and hyping up. He's been okay, but like people are hyping up to be like one of the top players in Pacific. And now you look at this and you're like, well, he's just not put up these like great performances. So I think we can cut him some slack for now, just because it's like his like first second game. But it'd be interesting to see how he performs like in the future.
Yeah. Well, I also want to bring this up here. Uh, the
Ah,
VCT Pacific 2025 competitive ruling. Juvenile
all right.
has been banned for a year because of his sus Twitter DMs that were,
He has no Riz,
he
unfortunately.
has no riz and he was harassing women in the DMs. Um, I will say though, if this is nothing here, if we pull him up, is that how you spell juvenile? Juvenile, GE. Bro, oh my God.
Change
I hate
the
when
E
that
to a 3.
GE juvenile. Listen, here, here we go. I don't know, man. He's a white guy with dreads, and that's all I'm gonna say. Like white guys with dreads, there's a stereotype, and he's kind of fulfilling the stereotype. I will say, I don't know how much of the actual coaching and like how much of the actual stress and preparation were from juvenile. Um, right? I think that's going to be like a big question mark going forward, how this team like goes and like uh like how much was the juvenile effect basically on this team. Um, and like I don't know, this is going to be very interesting to see because juvenile was also there when Lev made their run to third place at champs. Um, like he's been like a prominent coach in the scene for like the past year, I guess. Um, and like he has like we assume, right? He was the head coach when this GE roster was put together. Um, yeah, I don't know. So, how do you guys think that this is going to affect the team? Juvenile is gone.
Assuming that, well, based off that he was head coach, I do think that it will affect like morale, everything. Just honestly, just it's hard to pinpoint what his exact role, like whether he was a more macro or micro coach for the team. So it's kind of hard to pinpoint how the team would fail. But I think it's pretty pretty confirmed that the team is just going down from here.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to completely be on the bandwagon of hate because I mean they do play DRX next, which I think they'll probably lose to. Genji might be a tough game, and Paper X might be a tough game, so they might. They have the chance to lose all of these, right? But I don't know. I think I want to have faith in Elevated here, who we assume is going to be the head coach, because the way he's spoken, the way he's spoken a lot. He's been very vocal about the team, and he's been very vocal about the effect of the players, and I don't know. I just want to have faith in the guy. He's a likable guy. I've been watching him since like 2023, 2022. Um, I don't know, but I think this is definitely gonna be hard for GE. I think before they were maybe contending for even going to the international event. But now I just don't see it happening. I think they can maybe still be
Yeah.
in the top half, but even if Juvenile wasn't having that big an effect, even if Elevate is able to pick it up, even if like they're able to do these things, I think the effect that even just this happening to them will be like a big cause for them to have a downturn. So,
Yeah, I can agree with that.
okay, and then the next game was Gen G versus DFM. And again, this is another DFM disaster class. We actually did
13-2 and
get to see.
13-4.
I think the main thing, because I think we can all agree, DFM played like shit, nothing new. Gen G, they did play well. I want to talk about that, but I also the main thing I want to talk about is Foxy9. He is back.
Mm.
Yes.
Officially, not at least as far as I've seen from like, as far as I've seen, I mean, since this was happening like yesterday, um, nothing has been confirmed. They haven't talked about why they've subbed him in or why they've suggest out. But as we can see, he's come back in and he fried immediately on Lotus. He went 17-5, and then here he was still frying. He went 12-11. Um, I don't know. This to me, I just am very happy because I think Foxy9 was definitely like I don't think he was let's say the best player, but I do think he was definitely good enough to not be benched, especially for a player like Suggest, who no offense to Suggest, but let's just say he's only won one game in VCT, and then they won. Yeah. So yeah, what do you guys think about this game, Foxy9?
I mean, I'm super happy that they brought in Foxy9. I think he always has the potential to be a really good player, but he just never had like the chance to get, to be that top player. So I'm glad they're giving him another shot. I think it's also reasonable because the fact that Suggest has just been underperforming on Genji. I haven't seen anything impressive for him through his entire Valorant career. So there's that. I think that Genji just in general played super well, but I want to see this against a better team. DFM, I would not say are a good team to say, Genji, they're a good team because they beat this team. I feel like you slot in any Pacific team and they can show off the same numbers here. So I want to see Genji against against Global Esports, against the other people in this bracket who Global Esports and DRX. Yeah, I really want to see those games to see how they perform, to give them an actual opinion about them. But good signs for now.
Yep. I agree. Sal?
Uh, Kind of same thing that I said with DRX in terms of Genji's six-man roster that they've kind of been running. So yeah, Suggest Foxy9. I feel like they're no matter what, they're gonna keep the core of Texture, Munchkin, and Karon. Uh, as for the other three, we have two rookies and Foxy9, which I'm not too
Foxy9
sure
is not
who
a.
I would pick.
Oh, you're saying two rookies and
Yeah,
Foxy9.
yeah, two
Sorry.
rookies and Foxy9.
Sorry, I thought you said two rookies in Foxy9. I'm like, Foxy9's been here since 2020. No, but
Yeah, no,
yeah.
two rookies and Foxy9. Yeah. I'm not too sure who if I was a solo or HSK who I would put in. Um, I feel
I,
like
I say I say you keep Ash. Like Ash has been like
keep Ash.
underperforming. Like I don't think Ash is like I don't know, like he hasn't been like going insane or anything. But I think you definitely put in Foxy9 over the two of them, and I think you put in Ash over Suggest. And it's like less of
Yeah.
like
Okay.
Ash being good and like Suggest just being only having one win in the entirety of VCT, you know? Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah,
I mean,
so
I feel like the thing about that is when they're running scrims, who do they run it with? And
Oh,
like
yeah, that's true.
even like if they run scrims with let's say Foxy9 for a match, who do they put in?
yeah.
You
I
know,
think
it's just small things that
yeah.
made like DRX back in like 23, I think.
Yeah, 23.
It
Yeah,
was it
23
was
was
what brought
the
them down.
Yeah, no, that was my one of my hot takes is I believe if DRX never never added Foxy 9 2023 to the main roster, like even at all, they would have won an international event because they were saying, I think Buzz said before lock-in, he said they've been scrimming with Foxy 9 for like a while and not they haven't been scrimming with Zest and they just put Zest in for lock-in. And they got like third, fourth at lock-in. I think they genuinely could have made a run for lock-in. They could have won, and I think they maybe could have won Tokyo as well if they like didn't like fuck up all their roles. But you know, what happened. Anyway,
Yeah.
let's move on for pick'ems for this group. So we got this game which happens in a couple hours. Actually, is 3 hours from now.
Like,
We
yep.
got. Let's open this. Erase this. We got
Surely you don't fuck up the Paper X logo.
wait,
No.
fuck.
Okay.
Hold up.
Okay, do an R.
It's like this. It's like this. Boom.
Yeah,
Boom.
there you
Paper X,
go.
and then who's the other team?
Boom.
Uh,
Drawable.
boom.
Okay. Boom. Like.
Oh.
That's pretty accurate, no?
I think you just need the mouse. You just need the mouse. Oh, there we go. That's boom right there.
Who you guys got?
You already know.
I think we all
No.
think we all have the.
Nope. Put me
Oh,
on the
no.
other side.
No.
Other
If I was
side.
the biggest PRX glazer.
I see.
Yes, I am the Paper X Glazer.
Let's hear the cope then. Let's hear the cope.
Okay, the cope. I think we wake up this game and we fix the role issues and stop fucking around with it. We stop playing Waylay as a whole, and then we win in 3 maps.
The classic. My team will fix the roles now.
Please,
Okay.
guys, please.
Natural.
Please.
What's the argument for Boom?
What's the argument for Boom? I mean, they've been playing super well. Their players are all going off. We saw that in Ascension that if these players are online, they are super competitive, right? I mean, Boom have been looked really well. PRX, on the other hand, they've been playing some close maps. They've won some maps, but like overall, their roles are confused. Chinga's not look good on smokes. Mind Freak is like on Sentinel, and it's not been great. They've been trying the Waylay. Not a fan of that either. It's just I feel like PRX are a huge mess, and they're still relying quite a bit on individuals to carry them through. And I don't think that against a team like Boom, who's been showing off their individuals to a very high degree, who have good strategies, compared to PRX's messy like just 4-1s or 5-5-0s. I think that PRX if they want to beat Boom, they have to show up. They have to play the correct roles, and they have to all look good for them to beat Boom right now.
Yeah, I agree. I think Boom they look consistently way better than Paper X. I think Paper X need to play at their peak to be able to beat Boom. I think the only other world where Paper X they still play like this and Boom lose is if Boom like we said consistency was a factor in the past and it looks like they have gone over it, but if they somehow haven't and they are inconsistent today and they do like a lot of their players play like shit, then I can see a world where Paper X just aim stiff them. But I think Boom is too good. The players are too good. The shots are too good. The IGLing is too good. And then on the opposite side, Paper X players aren't good. The IGLing isn't good. Strats aren't good. Aims are good. I think this is gonna be 2-0.
I just want to say, I'll be a very sad man today.
I love Paper. This is the thing about Paper X. Every time they play, like recently, it's like I think I said this last week as well. It's like watching a puppy get shot, because it's like such a fun team to watch. You love rooting for them. It's like these lovable personalities. They're all like very wholesome guys. And they're playing like this fun comp. They're playing like these fun pushes. They're playing like the fun Valorant, and then you just gotta watch them lose every single round, and it hurts, man. It hurts them watching them getting destroyed.
I am on very much copium.
Yeah.
And yeah, we can move on now.
And the next game we have DRX GE. This game is. I don't know. I could see this game being close. Um, Purely off of the. Oh wait, no! Don't DRX have a new logo? Am I tripping?
Yeah,
What was the new
they
thing
do
for
Do
have a new
they?
DRX?
logo. I do think that is
Let
terrible.
me let me let me pull up Twitter.
I have
Hopefully
not seen this new logo.
DRX.
What?
Yeah,
I don't like it. I
I
do
don't
not
like it
like
It
it.
either.
looks awful.
Yeah.
Can we just keep the old logo for the sake of the podcast?
Oh, okay. I got you. Okay, we
For the
got
sake of my
Yeah.
DRX,
eyes.
and the other team we have
Global.
is GE. Oh my God, this is a shit logo. I'm not gonna lie. If a team needed a logo
Wait,
change, it would be
do
this one.
the
How do you even draw?
yeah, I think that should
It's
be
like
good enough.
Yeah, and then oh,
The outline's good enough.
GE. There we go.
G.
I'm not writing the entire thing.
Yeah.
GE. I think
Perfect.
this game can be very close if DRX decides to change out some players and we get new IGL going in. We have like a new different team comp and like if it's Bing going out, we have to deal with like loss of lives, like that sort of thing, or and like you have to deal with like a new system and all that. And then on GE side, they have looked good in the past, right? And like if Patrick Hu decides to like turn up finally, or like they have good. I do think they have like good fundamentals, right? Like that's one of their strong points. Um, but as well, they just lost Juvenile, so we don't know how much that's going to affect them. So this is like I think this is if DRX stay the same, then DRX should beat them no matter what happens with GE. But if DRX decide to change, I think it's a question mark for both teams. So where are you guys on this?
I'm leaning more
Um.
towards DRX just
Yeah.
because of the difference in coaching staff and the level of the players as a whole. I feel like
Okay.
DRX is a bit like a lot more proven as a team compared to Global Esports. Also, shout out to GE. This is like one of their best rosters thus
Yeah,
far.
no. I think it was like I want
Hundred
to give
percent.
like a shout out to I don't know who came up with it. I'm pretty sure it probably was Juvenile. But like having tons and tons of players come and try out and like come and like not pick up players based on results or like how good they did or whatever, but like have all of them because they had so many people come try out, right? Who they have like I
Yeah.
remember they're like saw a Sire player tried out, Foxy9 tried out. I remember there's like tons and tons of players trying out for this team, and yeah, they picked a really good five. Well, Patrick Hu, but
Yeah.
we supposedly good five. Good four so far,
Yeah.
but
Supposedly.
supposedly. So that's what's your argument for DRX here?
I mean, I think DRX are just looking super good right now. I think that they got their form hasn't fallen off that much compared to Bangkok. I think that or like in kickoff, I think that they will. It'll be interesting how they bring in with Estrella, which is like the only concern I would say you would have to say like, oh, G could beat DRX because of that. But I'm still pretty confident in DRX. I think that their players are good. I think that worst case scenario, you might have a spill out from Human, Freeing, or Marco, and
If it's
yeah.
for
So I
Hyunmin or
think
Mako, I don't know what the fuck they're doing. If it's that, then like, Termi should be cut immediately. Or like unless it's like illness or something. But even then, I'd rather have like a sick Mako play over Straya. You know?
yeah,
Okay, yeah, but I agree with you guys. I think DRX are the favorites here. I think, like I said, I think DRX. It's like there's a chance that that happens. Like we don't even know if Estrella's coming in for this next match, right? Like there's a
yeah,
chance it happens, and if it does happen, then they could maybe beat or lose to a GE who could maybe be good or maybe could be bad. So it's like GE is like right now a 50-50 between good or bad. And then when they're good, they can't beat the good DRX. And then DRX is a 50-50 between maybe being good or bad. Like they're good right now, but there's a chance they'd be good or bad. Or I don't know how to say it, but like, I don't know. DRX are better. I think I'm just overthinking it. DRX are just better. That's my thing.
yeah.
Okay. Oh.
Let's move on then.
We got next. This for we're doing this week as well, right? Are we?
Yes.
Yeah. DRX again, but this time versus Boom. Oh, I should never risk DRX. Um, so this amazing DRX logo. And then let's redraw the Boom wolf. I'll do it better this time. Oh, oh.
Oh wait, it's cooking. It's cooking.
Okay, but side note though, like why is the boom logo a wolf? You know, like shouldn't it be like I don't know, like shouldn't it be like an explosion or something like M80?
Oh, no clue. I am no graphic designer. No,
I don't know.
maybe
Anyway,
maybe the howl of a wolf is a boom. I don't know.
Howl it's a boom. Okay, yeah. So what are you going for here next?
Uh, I'm sticking with my DRX bias. Love them since 2022. I love Marco. I'm sticking with DRX. I don't care how good Boom looks. Boom. I don't. I think Boom have a chance of winning this. I don't. I think this is like a 40-60 at least. You know, at least it's a 40-60 for Boom.
Yeah, I agree.
But they could be like 50-50 or something else. But like, I think that DRX. I just hope. I just hope they don't bring in Estrella. I like this current DRX roster. I think they're
I
good.
agree.
I think they can
But
beat Boom.
yeah, okay.
But yeah.
Fal, what's your team right now?
I am also going to lean towards DRX, but based more on a difference in experience, I think.
Okay.
It's going to be a three mapper. I'll say that much.
Yeah, I
I
also think it'll be
agree.
3 maps.
I am gonna go with the punt pick and go boom. I think boom. They're gonna have another week, right? Because this isn't this like this week is like this next coming week. I think DRX. I think only, ironically, I think more time will hurt them in this scenario because I feel like they're gonna be testing out Estrella, and like you were saying, when they test out, and like sometimes they play scrims with him, sometimes they play with scrims with someone else, and then there's less scrim time overall, you know. And I feel like it's gonna fuck things up. Um, but I think in normal circumstances, I probably favor DRX more, like in a 55-45 maybe. But I think I have too many question marks about DRX right now that I have to go Boom here. But I think Boom has just been consistently too good. But I think it's very
Yeah,
close. I
yeah,
think it's probably going to be either 55-45 or 60-40.
yeah. That's fair.
Yeah.
Let's move
Okay.
on then.
And then bam, bam, bam. Next game we have is Gen G GE. Um, okay. We got this. And that's what are you thinking?
Uh, GNGG. Um, I actually, I feel like if they stick with Foxy 9, I really like it, and I think that with the going out of Juvenile, I think it will affect G quite a bit. So I'm leaning towards Gen G here.
Okay, Foul. What about you?
My pick'ems have Genji, but if we look at like some of the previous games, we can see that Boom 2-0 Genji, and then Boom also 2-0 GE, and then both teams did 2-0 DFM. So I do think that as of right now, they are kind of just stats wise, they're kind of on the same caliber. But I do also think that it will at the end of the day it'll just be a guy diff.
Okay, I think that this could go because again, this is next week, so this isn't this week. So I think GE will be better no matter what next week because they're gonna have more time in the new system, if that makes sense. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, no, and I want to say I have a bit less faith in Genji to keep up their form because I think even when it was like the 6-man stuff and that was like what was the problem, their other problem, so the big thing was they kept relying on their 2024 strats and they kept treating whoever was their Sentinel, whether it was Fox and Nine or Suggest, as though he was Meteor when they're clearly not Meteor. Um, and they they weren't coming up with like new strats. They were relying a lot on 2024 strats. I think that's something global esports can like pick apart. But so I think this is much closer than people think. Like I kind of want to go GE here, but I think I just have I still have too many question marks about them, so I have to join you guys here. But I think this is going to be very close. I think this is going to be like maybe 55-45.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Okay. And then I think this is the last game, which is Paper X DFM. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. I think there's a very obvious pick here, and let's see if you guys pick it here. How do you do the DFM like this? That's the bottom.
It's like just a
It's
circle as
black.
well.
Okay,
Oh
no.
boy.
Okay. So Kyle, let's hear as the resident Paper X fan, what's your argument here?
Yeah.
I have my faith. Sure, we can look at kickoff. We did lose pretty embarrassing to them. But with how the track record is looking for DFM right now, I believe very firmly that we will win. We will make Paper Rex great again.
Big favorite X good.
Okay. Nats,
Hades,
what's your
what's your prediction?
Here I'll go. Ordinarily, in any normal scenario, I would be predicting against DFM. Right? They're shit. They don't know how to play. They can't aim. You know, Paper X, even though they can't play, they don't know how to play either. They probably just aimed at them. But the coach of DFM is only good at coaching versus one matchup, and that is versus Paper X. At kickoff, he said they only prepared the entirety of their kickoff preparation went only into preparing against Paper X. And we saw how well that paid off for them. Right? And listen, he hasn't said he's done it again, but so far it looks like he hasn't been preparing for any other team. And he is going to face Paper X. So I have to predict DFM here, even though it makes no sense. Like, if you just look at them on paper, but the DFM coach, he loves anti-stratting Paper X. You know, and it's the only thing that he anti-strats. He doesn't anti anything else. He doesn't work on any other team, like any strats or any other teams. It's just Paper X. So
Okay.
no,
You see, I was
what do you
thinking
think?
about that too. I was thinking about that too. I was thinking about the we've only prepped for Paper Rex, but I think I'm gonna have to be a little bit real here. I'm gonna listen to my brain and put down Paper Rex because
Fair
I
enough.
think that
Fair
this
Yeah.
enough.
squad,
Fair
I think this
enough.
squad has been for too long together for too long. I think that they will figure something out by this time. They should have figured at least one or two things out that can fix their problems. And against DFM, who have not looked great, you know. So
Yeah.
I believe in the squad to at least beat DFM.
Okay. Oh, so let's talk about the other group then. Let's talk about Group Omega. And let's talk about what was the first match was that we didn't talk
Today it's
about.
a T1 Notion.
Yeah, T1 Nongshan. This is a 2-0 from T1 as expected. I think most people expected that. But it was pretty close, I'd say. Nongshan went up 10 here and they went up 11 here. And on the first map I want to talk about, they were up 9-5 and then DRX made a comeback to 11-9. A bit of a heartbreak.
DRX.
Or T1. Listen, Stax is on here, Buzz is on here.
DRX
Like,
mentioned.
you know, like hey, the Korean super team, you know, you think DRX, okay? Um,
Okay.
and then here as well, they're up 8-4, and then DRX bringing back to 10-8. And I just want to say, the Nongshin defense halves have not been good whatsoever. It has been a consistent problem for them. They can't defend, and I think part of that comes to Danby. But I like to be fair to them, this is T1, so we'll give them that. But they were in like prime position to win both of these maps if they just closed it out on defense, and they just couldn't on either side.
Okay. Nas, you mind if I go first?
Yeah, go first.
Okay, so I'm going to do a little bit of T1 glaze, and I'll leave the waylay hating to Nats. So first of all, Icebox, I am liking T1's comp.
Oh, can I just put in real quick?
It's
It brought
yeah,
a
sure, go
tear
for
to
it.
my eye to see Buzz back on Chamber. Like I remember when on like they were talking about when Meteor got signed. They're like, yeah, no, Meteor. It was such a good chamber. They have Buzz. Buzz was one of the best chambers in the world. He was better than Meteor. He was, in my opinion, he was like definitely top five. I think I'd have Artis, Cryo, and Ye above him. I don't know who else would be above him. I probably have like four of them. But he was so good. I became a fan of Valorant in 2022, and Buzz was one of the reasons because his chamber was insane. And just to see him back on it and fry, it just brought a tear to my eye. But go ahead.
So yeah, I feel like their comp is well, especially with the Chamber and Reyna, it's very heavy towards disengaging. I think I saw a podcast somewhere or heard from someone, it was probably on Twitter, about in the grand finals against G2 for the Abyss, they chose the Reyna just directly to counter Leaf's Chamber.
Well, I said that,
So
but
okay, you
I
said that?
said no, but you wouldn't know that I said it, but I said it in like when you weren't there. But and then Chobra copied me. He said
Ah,
it as well. So you probably heard it from
ah,
Chobra, but I said it first.
copyright strike him.
I have proof
Yeah.
I said it first too, but it's not for public information. But anyway,
But anyways, yeah, no, historically Icebox has been really okay. This is a lot of hate for Icebox. It's really a one-sided map. You just hit A every single time, and then if it doesn't work, go mid and then go A. Just I like this comp. I like the idea of having like Reyna on it, just because. Well, I mean, why not? It's yeah. I like this comp. There's
why not?
I
Yeah.
can't really explain it, but I like this comp.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to
As
talk about
for
Split?
non-team,
Yeah.
I'll talk a little bit about Split. Yeah. Just same stuff as what they're doing at Champs. It's meters frying on Viper. Yeah. Izu doing Izu things. Pretty standard stuff for T1.
Nonsha, you were saying?
So I'll leave it to Nats then.
Okay, it's my turn. Okay, because I have a lot to speak about this game. Okay, first of all, Nongxin, they hop over the Neon. Okay, they decided. Okay, we're not gonna be Neon one tricks. Now we're gonna first look at Icebox. On Icebox, they pick Jet. Okay,
Ooh,
and
good
what
choice.
is
Good
this?
choice.
Let's look at Dumpy stats right here. It looks like a good choice. 1922. You know,
Five
Persia a
one
little bit of
first
an
kill.
underperformance. 5-1 first kills, first deaths. It's looking good. Okay, not sure if Force. You know, you know, Icebox. It's like anything that can happen. Map. You know, you on attack. They were good. Defense, they were not so good. It's okay though, right? You know, so I feel like overall, maybe if Persia turned up, they could have won this map. But let's just talk about splits because Mr. Downby here goes 5 and 19 on Waylay, dropping a first kill to first death ratio of 1-6. And oh my gosh, this agent. I just want to say, I predicted this. Last few weeks, I've been saying, Nongshin are gonna pick Waylay and they're gonna troll because Waylay is a terrible agent. Okay? Every round, Downby is going in using his full kit, okay, and he's either an insta dying or he has to refract back, and he has 0 util left, and he's just going in dry with like maybe 1 flash and insta dies. I don't understand why teams think Waylay is a good agent. It's just like the only Waylays we have seen that are good are Aspas and Jogamo, but that's because they're going in, they're killing 2 people before going out. And if they're not doing that, they insta lose. I just like you're so much better at Neon, you're so much better at Jet. Why are you picking Waylay? I just hope that they never pick Waylay again. They see this 519 game on Dumby, and they see this 1922 Jet game, and they go, Waylay, not for us. We're not picking this agent.
Nice one, Nats.
Because
Absolute masterclass.
Yeah,
yeah,
Waylay
it's
is
awful.
just so shit. Like, okay, the thing about Waylay is, like, you would think that there is some team out there that has like perfected Waylay and shown it at such a high level that all the other teams are like trying to copy. Because there's so many teams that have gone into Waylay. Like you would think, like maybe there is some like masterful team in like scrims or something that runs way late and they run it insane and they all see it from the scrims and they're like, oh my god, we gotta run this. But so far, I have not seen one game where like the Waylay by like Waylay has looked good, right? Like even when you say Jawjimo and Aspas, that's not the Waylay looking good. That's Jawjimo and Aspas being insane, right? Like I just don't understand how everyone picks it because it's not like they do this for like any agent that releases. They like everyone picks it, right? Like when Deadlock was released and she was still shit, nobody picked Deadlock, right? I forget
I
like
think
what I don't
um
know. Yeah,
I think this is fully because of Tejo, because the teams that picked up Tejo, they like were all super good, and the teams that didn't pick up Tejo, they sort of lagged behind in the meta. And now teams are looking at that and going, oh my gosh, we gotta play the new agent, keep up with the meta, because Riot are gonna power creep. And if we don't pick Waylay and you don't have a good duelist on Waylay, like many teams don't have good duelists on Yoru, right? If we don't have a good duelist on Waylay, we're gonna be screwed. We're not gonna have a good season, and it's just this trap that they're falling into.
Anyway, let's talk about Talon RQ. This was definitely a match. Wait here. Who the fuck is it?
Let me
Well,
speak on this.
yeah,
I have
let's
much
hear
to
it.
say. Okay, first of all, I do not like Primi as a primary duelist. If we look at his first kills to first death, it's 5 to 9, which means like okay, let's look at Lotus. 3 first kills, 4 first deaths. He's playing Neon. The thing about Primi, the thing that makes him special is his mechanical skill, his ability to just shoot other people. So why are you having him going in as the first person, and then he gets traded out, and then now your win condition is basically gone? Let's look at the second map. Look at Ascent. He's playing Yoru. His first kills to first death is 2 to 5. He's going in first, and he's dying. Even if he gets traded, your X Factor is out. So I don't like it. As for the full Thai roster, it is like what the first or second game after they changed into this roster. Obviously there's still a little bit of nerves for the rookies and whatnot, but overall that's really all I have to say.
I mean, you say nerves, but Kill was fine. I think Kill was insane. I think Thai
He
definitely
was an
had a
incredible player.
Thai definitely had a bad game. I think, and I agree with you on Premi. Um, and I don't know, like they pretty much just got destroyed by RQ. Like this was
Yeah.
like oh no, this was I think like even like just to talk about RQ, I think RQ did play very well. But I think this is definitely talent underperforming a lot, and I think especially like I wouldn't say this is because I don't know what's going on, but one of the things was of my criticism with Talon was the fact that their head coach was still Frost, who um who like doesn't speak Thai, so that they always have to go through somebody else to get through the translations. I thought that was going to be a big problem for them, and I don't know if it is, but it looks to Talon isn't working, and we know most of these players are really good, and their shots didn't really look that good, so yeah. Also, Primi, main duelist. I'm just gonna put this here. Yeah, the classic thread. Anyway,
Yeah. On the other hand, I do want to point out that RQ had brought in Crazy Guy for that match.
oh yeah, I forgot we didn't really talk about that. Yeah. Is this the first match for Crazy Guy for RQ? Or did they play him versus Nocturne?
Second match, I believe.
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
they
they
played
played him
Nongchen
for
as well.
Nocturne. Yeah, yeah. So this is the second match.
Okay, well, first win, yeah.
Yeah, first one. Yeah, but he looked good, and we're gonna talk about it later. But he also looked good in his next game. He looked really good. Any final
Yeah.
thoughts?
Not for me. I'll
Nothing
hand it off.
really. I think talent a little bit of underperformance, but it's like maybe it's. I think the system is just that you're hoping for like because before why Permian was like really good was because Governor would go in insta die and then Permian can trade him and get like 3 kills. So maybe they need to figure out the roles around this, but yeah,
Yeah, I mean, Jip was played duelist, right? Am I tripping?
Jip Boys I believe did play
Yeah.
duelist
Oh no,
at
he
one
did
point in
not. He did
time.
not play duelist. He did not play duelist. I'm thinking about Garnets. Oh my god. I'm thinking about Talent 2023. Um,
Yeah, I'm thinking like I forgot who. Yeah,
Garnets
someone.
and
Yeah,
what's the fucking let me pull it up. What was it? Who was it verse? It was you know exactly what I'm talking about. The
yeah,
split
yeah,
game.
yeah, yeah, I know who. Yeah, yeah.
Uh, um, this one? No. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Here it
Yeah,
is.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
The
yeah.
greatest split comp of all time. I think this is his only map on Raze, actually.
No,
He's
there was
It
played
another
two
might.
one.
maps on
Yeah,
Raze, and one of them. But yeah, it was so good. Paper X had to recreate it in Madrid, so you know.
yeah,
Anyway,
yeah.
let's talk
Well,
about RFQ Zeta, which happened yesterday or today, wherever you are. I
yes.
think it was yesterday for me, but yeah. Um, this was pretty expected result. RFQ were the heavy favorites coming in. Um, Zeta, they did put up like kind of a fight on Haven, you know, in the first half, and then they pretty much just got destroyed in the second half. I think this especially was just a masterclass from Crazy Guy. Like he shows like why he belongs on this team. I think RQ is like starting to get more informed. I think now they like definitely are contending with like the top teams in Pacific. Um, just one thing on Zeta before I hand it over to you guys. Yoru needs to stop. It is not good. I think Depp is an amazing player. I think especially I mean you look at him, he's actually a very good player. So is Sugar Zero. I think this is my thing about Japan rosters. They shouldn't have two teams. They should have one team and they should just combine all their talents because I think they could create a decent team if they do that. Like in Ciota too. I forget who was telling me. Someone was on VLR. They were posting about Ciota should be duelist or something because he's a better duelist than Depp or something like that. I forget, but yeah,
I think they could
what were
run
your
double
guys'
duelist.
thoughts on this game?
Nothing too much out of expectations. Just
I mean, yeah.
yeah.
I think that I think that Zeta, you know, they're not. You, you see, with RQ, right? You could say that this was a good sign, but I think Zeta overall have not been playing that great. I think the Japanese squads are struggling like this. I agree with Hades with these like if you just combine the talent, they could create a decent team. But like they're all split up, and I think that Z X I don't know how you say his name XDRL or
XL.
Zidol whatever. Yeah, but he hasn't been playing great recently. You know, I think in these Zeta games he's been putting up some stinkers, and I think that I don't know Zeta individually they're not that great. Strategically they're like average at best. So I think that you're they I don't have anything going for them.
Yeah, I think their
I don't
big
think they're
problem
gonna make
is they
playoffs.
only have two coaches right now. They need at least six more. So
Oh yeah.
somehow Carlisle is still on
Yes.
this roster, bro. This guy, if you forget, he coached Furia in 2023 when they were like halfway decent. Um, and then he went to Japan out of nowhere, even though he didn't speak Japanese. Like it makes no sense.
I
This
think
is like still
I
one of
think they
like the
should
weirdest roster moves of all time.
I think they should bring back like 7 coaches, like one for each map plus one for
Yeah,
specifically
they should pull in
anti-strike.
all gamers, just get everyone, you know? Yeah. But anyway, let's head into
Yeah.
And then
pick'ems.
every
Just
time, all right, pick 'em time.
Yeah. Talon
Talent
Nongchen. Let's
Nongchen.
pull up Pete. Okay. Let's see how
Oh my gosh, that's a beautiful talent logo right there.
let me um
It's like a
Nongchen
badge.
is like
It's a badge with.
yeah,
It's a badge with like the heart thingy going through it.
this is good enough.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Beautiful.
Who do you guys got?
Originally in my pick'ems, I did have Talon, but right now I'm leaning more towards Nonshim.
Yeah. Uh
I'm.
I think
I
I
mean, I'm
explained it
just.
pretty well earlier with like the whole Premier situation. And then if they fix that, they might
Yeah.
have a chance, but I doubt it.
I'm still a Nongshin believer. I think that they'll look at that Dombi game and they'll be like, Wele was fucking disappointing. We're never picking this agent again, and we're gonna beat Talon.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with you. I think Talon they definitely have the. I think this could be close if Nongshin underperform and Talon overperform. But I think the fact that you have to rely on both those things just makes Nongshin the favorites in my eyes. Like I don't know. I feel like Talon is almost like the perfect team for Noxian style because Noxian fail when there's like very heavy like strats and like very heavy like coordination and like good defense like to go against, right? Like that's where they falter. And Talon does not have any of that. Their strong suit is also mostly like gunfights. They don't really have the greatest strats or falling. So I think this is a good matchup for Noxian. They're gonna take it.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Next
Then we
one is
got
Secret versus
T1
T1.
T Secret. Okay. So how's
I think this
T1?
is
It's
fairly
like,
obvious.
yeah, it's like, how do you do this? It's like this.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah, T1, and then we have Secret, which is like an eye, you know? Ooh,
Yeah. Okay.
mysterious.
Beautiful.
Okay, and anyway. Do we want to talk about
So
Secret?
we have the best specific team versus the worst one. So
Yeah. You know, who knows? Maybe Wild
I
Oreo.
mean,
He Oreos all over them. I don't know. But yeah. And then
Stacks dips Jesse Vash, no difficulty.
yeah, I mean
yeah.
he's not even IDLing anymore. It's 2GE. Anyway,
Well,
Eh, well, he dips both of them. Low
yeah, I
difficulty.
know, but I'm just saying. Uh,
Yeah.
anyway, we're back to
so
Nongshin.
so we're gonna talk about Nongshin Red Force. You know the terrible team. That's why we're all gonna pick Secret here, right?
Yep,
Yeah.
exactly, exactly. That's why I'm picking Secret right now, and you guys, I'm picking for you right now. You're also picking Secret this game.
Exactly.
I don't think there's, like we're like moving past this very fast, but I don't think there's anything to talk about. I'd be very surprised if Secret
I don't
wins.
think anyone cares about a Secret, bro.
Yeah. Okay, and then next game is T1 or Q.
Q1 RRQ. I think this goes 3 maps.
I could see that. I could definitely see that. I think this could also easily be a two mapper. I could also see one mapper. Not really the RQ. It's
One mapper.
like yeah, one. I mean two mapper. Did I say one mapper? I'm out of it
You
now.
did say one
Yeah.
mapper. One mapper. RQ decides to
I'm just
forfeit second map due to players being too sad.
okay. I'm going T1. I think there's a chance for an upset, but I don't think it's a very big chance. I think T1 would need to underperform and RQ would need to overperform. I think part of RQ's problem is that when it comes to a lot of the top teams, they're able to play them close, but they're never able to like pull it over the line. And maybe that changed with Crazy Guy, but I don't know. I don't see it happening. What about you guys?
Same with
I
you.
think that yeah, I think I agree. I fully agree with that. I think that T1 will tend to like to play teams very close as well, but they're like RQ, but they win those close matches. You know.
Hmm, I agree. Oh, anyway, let's move on. And then we have Talon Zeta. I actually,
And
I like on paper this is I could see an upset here. Like I don't think it's gonna be an
I could see
upset,
an upset. Yeah.
but I could definitely see it happen. Especially if
I don't think there will be an upset, but I can see it happening.
how do you do the Zeta thing? It's like this, and then oh wait, no,
It's, yeah.
I'm completely off. Um, it's like this, and
Yeah. Yeah. Sure.
yeah, and
Yep.
like
I
I
think
yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
I think I'm actually putting Zeta here because
Really?
yes, I think that Zeta they do have the potential to beat Talon right now. I think Talon looks especially weak overall. You know, I think that they still need to figure out their duelist problem. And I think that if Zeta come in strong, if they win like the beginning rounds and they like sort of tilt Talon a bit. I think that Talon will lose. I don't give them high odds. I think they have like what, maybe 35%. I would give them most, but if they come in swinging, I believe that this is a very possible upset.
I agree. I think if Talon decide to underperform, which is actually very, very likely, I think of all these teams, the most likely one of like the top half to underperform is Talon. And I think Zeta definitely have the potential to beat them. If they like do perform at their best level, if Sugar Zero is shooting like he shot versus like Secret, if Dep is playing really well, if Diota shows like what that one guy that was glazing him and VLR was saying, you know. But
Yeah.
realistically, I favor Talon here, probably like maybe 70-30, I'd say. Like at the very most, I give him like 30%, but realistic like maybe 75-25, that sort of thing.
I think it's a 60-40.
Really? Okay.
60-40, yeah, towards Talon.
Ooh.
If we look
Interesting,
at
interesting.
like just based on like track record wise, Talon. Okay, so Talon 2-0 Team Secret, or
Mhm.
Talon 2-1 Team Secret, and then Zeta 2-0 Team Secret.
That's
So just
true.
based off of that, we already have like it's gonna be a close game. And not to
Yeah,
mention that Zeta did take a map off of T1.
that is also very true. I could definitely see that. I think it's more still 70-30, especially since Talon gets another week, but you never know, right? I think
Yeah.
this is of the one games we talked about, this is like the most upset potential, right?
Yes,
Um,
I fully agree.
okay. So I think that's it for the pick'ems. But now we
Yes, that
talk
is it for
about
Pick'ems.
our I closed the tabs. Made it.
Group
But
group predictions.
group predictions. So let's talk about Group Alpha first. So that is DRX. Oh, I just it's wrong. DRX, Boom, Global Genji, Global Esports. I think Paper X, right? And who's the
Uh,
last one? Okay, DFM. Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Yep. Okay, and then we just
I
look
think
right
we can
now.
all agree that DFM on the bottom.
Yes.
Yes. DFM are definitely on the bottom. And then
And
I would put DRX Boom on top.
yeah,
yes, I
I
think
would put
I think
DRX 1 because that was what the majority predicted, and then Boom 2.
yeah, and then I think I think we I don't know, like I think these three teams could be put in any order depending on how GE do without Juvenile and how Gen G continue to perform. But
Mm.
what do you
I
guys
would
think?
put G in.
What do you guys think?
I would put G in 5.
Really?
Yeah, G5, Genji 3, yeah.
You guys would
I
have it
would
like
be
this?
happy with this.
Me
I will be fine
personally,
with
I'd
that.
have it like this, but you guys have the majority, so like I could also see this. So I think
Yeah.
like this is if I think GE don't perform without Juvenile, but I think if they continue to perform, then it'll be like more like
Oh
this.
yeah,
But
100%.
yeah,
If they play
okay,
like how they usually play like, then I would say
yeah,
G4, but I'm assuming Juveniles was a big contributor
yeah,
to the squad.
yep, okay. And then the other group we have, I think we can easily
Everyone
put
else.
T1 first. I think we can easily
Yep.
put Team Secret last. Um, and for the other teams, I think we put Nongshin second, right?
I can agree with that.
Or wait,
Yes,
they
Longshin
lost to
second.
who? They lost to Q1, and then they're probably gonna win on the rest of their games, right? Yeah, and then
Yeah.
RQ.
Now here's the thing. Here is the mesh. I think that RQ over Talon
Yep, I agree.
over Zeta.
Like this.
I fully agree. Yeah.
However, Zeta Talon, it could switch.
Yeah, if Zeta
Yeah.
It's
beat
really gonna
Talon.
depend. Yeah,
It
it's gonna
depends on
depend
on
on
the
their
game.
game.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I think
but I'm happy with this.
I'm happy with this too.
Yeah. Okay.
So I think
Cool.
that's it, unless we have a VLR thread of the week, which I don't think we do.
We do
So
not, because people do not submit them more, like we don't have a lot of good submissions as in general, and also we do not prep it as well. So
yeah. Well,
yeah.
this podcast this episode is very scuffed, so I would expect to.
Well, yeah, it's been very
Yeah, I mean,
stuffed.
I've been looking at the chat that people seem to like your drawings.
Thank you. I was an artist. My glorious king over
Yeah.
there. I don't know if you can see him. But yeah, no. Uh, I'm a very good artist, guys. I was compared to Monet in my day. Or wait, Monet. Monet. Monet.
Not yet.
Monet. You know, the
Oh,
French guy. Monet. How do you spell his name? Monet. Claude Monet. That was
yeah.
me, you know, back in the day. But yeah. Anyway, I think that's
All
it.
right.
Um, if
All
we
right.
can
Yes.
Let's
figure
wrap it
out
up.
how
Any
to
final
end
comments?
stream, that would be a very, very
Yeah.
cool thing
Okay.
to do. Oh, do
All
I
right,
just press the
guys.
button again?
Yeah. See
Okay.
you
All
guys
right.
next week.
Thank you
Cool. See you guys next
Bye.
week.
for coming, even though it was very scuffed. You know, see you next week.
Yes.
Have a good night or a good day or whatever. And let's hope for
Have a
Technica
good time.
playoffs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
It should be ended.
Wait. Did you go on YouTube? You